So, what you see, you should be on the map, and obviously you can see some tokens on there, but obviously you can't see them where you are. There is a large defensive perimeter fence built of thick, heavy brown acacia logs from the same trees you've seen on the travels here. There is a line of caravans, not very long, maybe like 7 or 10 deep, as people come and go from the city's gates. You can't really make out too much from where you are, but there are several defensive towers built around the perimeter of the fence as well. 2 large torches burn over the top of the gate. You settle into the early bits of the morning and enjoy some breakfast around the cart before you head down. It would be during this time that you guys can discuss how you would like to approach, anything specific you'd like to do. The GM will just do some due diligence and remind you that you're traveling with a Warforged, you're traveling with another metal contraption, and a zombie. We will say that for the sake of expediency as well, Rallick, assuming you're willing to dump all those lay on hand points into everybody so nobody risks getting sick for them.
Oh, yeah, after each long rest.
Okay.
So are we just going to go up to front gate and...
We could definitely go for a meal.
Well, meals, yes. I love that when we do that. I don't.
Clipper, maybe you could paint us eating. We'll find some potatoes. We'll call it Potato Eaters. It'll be great. It'll be a museum someday.
That is really good. Yes. All right, let's go. Meeting people is always good. I'm going to be in disguise as my alter ego.
The human person?
Yes. Jipper, the human.
Jipper.
Excellent. Jipper. Okay. Yeah, we'll say that, since you guys did technically eat last night, I had kind of forgot about that. There are enough of the fruits that you had picked left over that you can kind of, eat them raw if you'd like to have a nice mid-morning snack / dinner, technically, based on your travel schedule.
What's our countdown looking like for Trivar?
So it's funny that you should ask that. You do see Trivar standing near Vol. He is doing something a little bit strange. The night before that you had noticed, he would reach up from time to time and put a hand in his mouth, and he'd pull down pretty hard. He's now doing it with both hands. You realize that the spear he had been carrying is nowhere to be found. He must have dropped it a while ago. But he follows Vol around with 2 hands in his mouth. He's got his dirty knoll fingers in there, and he's pulling down on his jaw.
That's weird.
That's really disturbing.
Do I understand anything about what he's doing?
Give me a nature or medicine check if anybody nearby would like to figure this out. Okay. Yeah, the 3 of you come to the same conclusion. Jesus, these rolls. That you're familiar enough with anatomy or with the way that most creatures work, except for poor Rallick that thinks that Trivar's hungry. Normally if you have like tooth pain or something, it's not like it doesn't present in such a way that would make you reach into your mouth. It seems to be trying to dislocate its own jaw, and you would guess it's due to ear pain with the rolls that you had.
Oh, strange. It seems like it is actually feeling pain. Do you guys mind if I stop and take a closer look at this?
I think we should absolutely do that. I didn't think it could feel.
It's a he, and it can feel. If you think you can fix him, Tia, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if fixing's on the table, but we should at least...
I mean, I could just tell him not to do that, but I don't think. I mean, if the problem's still there.
I'm much more
Yeah, that's
interested
not a
in
solution.
why he's doing it.
Yeah. I would like to examine his earballs, please.
Earballs.
Yeah, you with that same medicine check, you get close enough to him. Obviously, he doesn't really react to you. Ask Vol for him to kind of kneel down because he is like 7 feet tall, and he does. He kneels down in the dirt, and you take a look in his ear, and there's something pressing up against the ear from the inside. You can't really see what it is.
Oh, it seems like there's pressure. I mean, it could just like normally in a person, this would maybe be like an ear infection, and sometimes we might puncture the eardrum to drain it if it was extremely dangerous, but that obviously would damage his hearing. I don't know if you want me to do that right now. It'll hurt. It will hurt a lot. But I don't know if that's comparable to the pain he's feeling right now because he can't really tell us.
What do you mean by pressure? Like something's in there, or he's
Yeah,
sick?
like there could be a bunch of fluid built up in there. That's usually what it is. So like I would basically just like poke it a little, and then we'd have him turn his head to the side, and it would kind of goop out, and then we'd apply some medicine, and it would gradually get better. If he is alive. And capable of getting better.
I think it's worth a try. I mean, one time I was in the swamp and got a little, like a tadpole in my ear, and it was stuck in there for days, and the pressure was unbearable.
Pushing down on me, pushing down on you. No last part.
I'd like to try something.
Yeah, sure.
You want to try something?
Yeah. I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts on Trivar.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can you link the spell for me?
Whoa.
Wow.
Welcome to Masked Spells to Peace Theater.
Can you describe what this spell looks like while I read the description and you buy me some time?
A copper piece. God damn it, Jim, I hate when you do this. So you've all seen Perry do this before, actually only once, back in the cavern with all of the sea devil babies. He did this with Barid. And let's see, with a copper piece and somatic components. I have no idea what this would look like. Fuck. I'm so bad at being put on the spot.
You're okay. You bought me enough time. You begin this complex spell casting thing, but as people look back and forth between you and Trivar, they miss it. They didn't catch exactly what you did. So
there was like some sort of illusion around me or something. It was crazy.
Yeah. So the spell doesn't affect the creature as best you can tell, but it does take. So what you essentially feel is like static on a television, right? It's just nothing there. It's like there's no signal. You would know enough about the spell to realize that creatures need to have a certain level of higher thinking in order to be affected by such a spell. So the little note there about a creature needing an intelligence of lower than 3 in order, or basically higher than 3 in order to be able to read its thoughts. You would know enough after casting the spell to know that it's just not very smart. It doesn't have a very functional brain. Now,
Okay.
how your friends will feel about that, we'll see.
So Perry will kind of shake his head after kind of coming back to his own mind, and he'll say to mostly directed at Volantia, but really to whoever else is around him wants to listen. Well, I'm a little puzzled because he definitely seems to be feeling something, but I tried to reach into his mind, and there's there's nothing really there. It's just static.
Oh, weird. Maybe it requires some kind of stimulus. Like maybe he's just turned off. Are you able to? I don't know how long you can look into his mind. Maybe.
I can
Maybe if
maintain it.
Oh, okay.
Vol, why don't you try asking him something and I'll look again.
Sure. Let me know when you're in there.
I would say this is all taking place in a minute, Perry. So if you can convince Vol to hop along, then you should be able to get all of this in with a single cast.
I can tap in again very quickly. Just ask him to do something now.
Trivar, stand on 1 foot.
The creature lifts itself onto both legs and then picks one leg up and holds it out in front of it, trying to maintain its balance. Let's see if it does. Perry, there is an interruption in the static, but there is no signal. It's still just blank.
Okay, so it's...
Oh wow, he stays on his feet real good.
So the interruption in the static would be comparable to like if the TV shut off and then turned back on, kind of like
right.
Like static stops and then comes back.
Yeah, switching to a picture that doesn't have anything on display. There's
Okay,
no
gotcha.
more static, but there's still nothing more.
Gotcha.
After about 10 or 12 seconds of clarity, it returns to static. The creature puts both feet back on the ground, reaches back up into its mouth, and begins pulling on its...
Well, Vol, please don't take offense to this, but I've never tried to look into the mind of an animal before, but I imagine what I just experienced is probably pretty close to what it would be like. I definitely don't think Bivar was very smart.
Look, I'll save you the time here. I know that's not Bivar. I explained a little bit about how this works to Ralik, so I won't go into it again, but I got the wrong soul. I pulled the wrong being back here. I need time, and I need to understand it. And it still is a living creature, which is why I haven't just disposed of it, but I do know that it's not Bivar.
But if it was a living creature, Perry would be able to, it would have something there for Perry to detect, wouldn't it? Like, even if it was a different language or...
Not necessarily. Again, an animal, as an example. Not a lot going on mentally, but still alive.
Look, I don't know when the last time you listened to the thoughts of a soul pulled back into the corpse of another species, but I'm not an expert at it. I don't know what Perry would hear. I'm guessing that you wouldn't either.
Right, but so do you think that you pulled just a random soul? Like, this could be like a firefly inside? Or
So
do
he
you
would
think
oh, sorry.
or do you think that it was a gnoll? Because the gnolls did seem to have speech. It seemed like they were communicating when we fought them. We just couldn't understand them.
So, let me draw this for you, and maybe, Ralik, if you could come look at this too, maybe it would go further on what we talked about earlier.
Are you gonna make a chart?
I'm gonna call it a Venn diagram.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
You should have said Vol diagram, but that's it.
I know. You know, I thought about it, but I was like, yeah. Yeah, but so he picks up a stick, or he just uses his walking staff, and he draws a big circle in the dirt.
he says, I'm not going to go back on what me and Rallick talked about, but hopefully this makes some sense into what I did. This time, each being that's alive lives on a different part of this wheel or this circle. Here on the one side, you have a parasite, the smallest creature. Then the next up, you have, or below that even, is the plants that the parasite eats. Then you go up and you have the next size, the bugs, the going up to the small toads, the frogs, the amphibians, mice. And I'm sure you've heard about. I mean, it's a food chain. It progresses around the circle, but it's a circle because no life is more important than another. At the end, it all goes back to one.
Okay.
What?
So this is a flow chart.
I guess. Yeah, it's
Okay.
you mean
Okay.
so it
Tia,
flows in one direction. Correct.
okay. Tia copies everything down onto a fresh page.
So what happens is inside of this circle is where the deities or the higher beings that we believe in, that is where they live on the inside. They keep balance, they keep control, they share their powers with beings like me. Whenever someone like me passes from this state, our souls enter the inside of the circle, reforging with the being there, which is where Bivar would have gone. When someone who doesn't have these abilities passes, their soul leaves and goes to the outside of the circle, not drawn in. It enters the void and will be pulled back into a random spot. It'll be reincarnated or continue as grass or an insect or some other type of creature. I'm trying to reach out and grab something from the inside, but I can't seem to figure out how that works. I guess to make it make more sense, and I'm sorry, Rallick, I told you this earlier, but the deity that gave me the sliver of their power was the deity of death and decay. Sometimes the wheel or the circle can be turned or moved counterclockwise. Sometimes parasites infect a larger creature and kill it. Even the smallest plant can grow toxic and kill anything above it. It alters the state of the circle and the path and the direction for a short period of time. That's what I'm trying to do, is alter the circle, moving it backwards to grab a soul and pull it back into the form that it previously was. Fortunately, I've only been able to grab random souls from the outside, from the void, and pull them into these bodies.
But what happens to the form that they've reincarnated into? Like, what if Bivar became a puppy or something like that, and you killed that puppy to make Bivar a gnoll, this other puppy?
Well, Bivar had the abilities like me. Bivar would have rejoined with his deity. He was a sliver of the deity that would have come from the Baal in the middle. Bivar would have had his sliver reincarnated into a creature that, possessed some of his abilities, or he would have been gifted with his abilities to something else. I don't think Bivar would be back yet.
How do you know that?
I don't.
Okay. There's no like standard window, like people are reincarnated within this amount of time, usually.
Does it just depend on volume?
Oh yeah, or like the original volume of their last host.
Oh, I just meant like if there's like a war and a bunch of people die, they have to process them in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, like a waiting list. That would make sense too.
Well, I don't. I mean, most of what I know is just from the teachings of the elders, and from what I believe, I've never actually heard of one being pulled back or confirmed reincarnation.
Then how do you know that people reincarnate at all if there's no confirmation of it? Sorry, that
Don't-
sounded very rude. I don't mean to be rude. I'm just trying to understand.
I mean, how would you know that your frog was going to deliver a message to something before you
That's a very
tried to
good
do it?
question.
You
That's
have
a
to
very good
believe
question.
some things without seeing them first.
It's science. He is using science.
It's all off of what I believe. I don't
Yeah,
know
You have
any.
a theory.
Well, I mean, it
And
clearly,
you're trying to prove your theory.
clearly there's something that happened here. It's not imaginary. We all see him there trying to rip his face apart. And do we want to do something about that right now?
Yeah, it looks like he's in pain.
Well, I don't know if there's much more we can learn from this one.
Oh, I have tests, but I guess Perry kind of sped them up. I was basically going to try and see if it was capable of recognizing things in its surroundings, even
And
they're
he's alive, isn't
they're
he?
different. I mean, Rosie is kind of like him, and I think they're both alive. I think Answer is alive, but I don't think
Oh,
I don't think Peterbilt is alive.
I think
Cancer is alive.
she's right. There's a certain amount of consciousness that anything can take on. I mean, you could find a flying carpet that can think. Well, this sounds familiar. Anyway, we've heard of legends of thinking items, magic items, and it can be done. So yes, you can have consciousness in anything. Anything can have a soul. Whether it functions the same as souls of living creatures is questionable.
And that's precisely my point. A soul that I may be pulled in here from the void may have been the soul of something that wasn't your definition of alive. Maybe from grass or from something like Answer or Peterbilt that doesn't talk or act or think on its own. And maybe that's where the fog in this one's mind comes from.
Right, yeah. But gosh, like every single blade of grass having its own kind of soul, like that's pretty crazy. So also I have another question. What if there's just like a little bubble kind of floating off outside the circle that seems to be holding things in it that probably should be inside the circle or outside the circle, but not inside this bubble? How do you think you might get those out safely?
It was a lot of words for me to process. Can you try that again, but slower?
She'll take the I'll try to take the stick from Vol and like draw just like a tiny little circle like on the flowchart, I guess. And she'll just be like, okay, so say that there are souls trapped in this little bubble because of the Inquisitors doing stuff like murdering people. Do you think that those souls that are trapped inside that bubble are aware that they're in the bubble? Or if there's a way to get them out?
I don't know if the souls would know it at the time. I can't remember any time that I was a soul before I was Vol, but
you remember you're aware of being Vol now.
well, I'd hope so. But the Baal, the deities we believe in, they can't set foot on this plane, but they give us slivers of their power so that we can do their bidding. I'm sure if a soul was trapped somewhere that it wasn't supposed to be, they would send someone to set it right.
This is an enthralling conversation, really, but we should do something about Shrivar. He really seems to be in pain.
Oh my.
With that, when you turn and look, the Gnoll's jaw is hanging a little bit dislodged, and its hands are at its sides.
Does it seem like it relieved the pressure inside his head?
It doesn't seem to be bothered anymore. If you'd like to inspect him,
I would.
He's standing again on 2 feet, so he's about 2 feet taller than you.
Vol, could you get him to kneel again so I can check and see if he still needs help? I feel so bad that we were just like rambling while he was... I don't know if I should feel bad, but I feel...
Shrivar, can you please sit down?
He sits cross-legged as best as Gnoll legs will allow. Now he's about probably 3.5, 4 feet tall.
Did his token change?
I added one for Vol. I haven't changed the token yet, but I realized I should give him a zombie, so he now has a zombie to control should he need to.
Okay, I was gonna say it looks more like a creepy clown zombie now than I remember it looked.
Even when he's kneeling, he's taller than me.
Yeah, he's sitting on his butt. I almost said he's sitting on your butt. Perry, he's still about a good 1.5 feet taller than you are.
Yeah, so I'll approach him and like shine my little flashlight on my keyring into his ear and take a look and see how it's going.
Yeah, you aren't even really able to look in his ear now because sprouted from his ear canal are 2 palish blue with hints of green mushrooms that have just kind of grown out of his ear canal.
Oh.
He seems relatively unbothered by the development.
Vol, do you see these?
Maybe. Do you think I grabbed the soul from a mushroom and put it in there?
Yeah, maybe, but then that like a soul doesn't manifest itself physically, does it?
Well, the soul of a mushroom would know from a past life how to grow as a mushroom.
But it wouldn't have the material components to do that, or like, This is very interesting.
Mushrooms grow in the dirt. When somebody dies, they decompose into the dirt. So, all in all, it's the same. I would think.
So it might not have. Yeah, so it might not have anything to do with the soul that you grabbed at all. It might just be part of the decaying process.
I think that perhaps this might take further study, but I don't know if we should meddle with Baivar's soul. I mean, I don't have a problem with you experimenting.
Like I said before, I'm pretty sure Baivar's soul is in my bag, so we're not meddling with him right now. We're talking about...
What exactly does that mean?
Oh, didn't I tell you before? Just hang on a second, and she'll go in her bag and pull out the spear, and open up or put it together probably, and then open up the compartment that has the stone in it, and just like hold it out to everyone very cautiously, just being like, it is probably safe to touch, but maybe don't touch it. Just look.
Yeah. So what Tia produces is the spear that you recognize from the Inquisitor that you all killed. When Tia opens up the inner workings of the spear itself and reveals kind of a central chamber, there appears to be in a metal seating. It's a large blue stone that's kind of radiating a soft light. It's sort of pulsing in a way. It's hard to explain. Ralik, your divine sense immediately pings, but it's just Trivar.
I was so excited for a second there, Jim. God damn it.
It's just Trivar, who's just sitting in the dirt.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I don't know exactly if Bivar's in here, but it seems like it. When he passed, I saw like a weird blow light, much like what you see in the stone, traveling from his body into the spear. And that also happened with the delegate. So, yeah, that's a thing. And she's gonna like very purposely not say anything about Warforged cores or anything like that.
Did that just happen on its own, accidentally?
Did what happen?
Maybe I didn't follow this correctly. The souls went into the spear?
Yeah, see, I think it was the souls because it only happened that I noticed with the final blow for both cases. But it could be just like general life force or energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be souls, but I don't know, I'm kind of erring on the souls end of this, especially since, I don't know, Vol's attempts to bring him back, though we don't understand them, have definitely not gone well.
Well, it is something new to me. I'm trying my best.
And just to make sure it's a point of clarification for everybody, you all wouldn't have seen a light leave these bodies and go into the sphere. You don't recognize what Tia is talking about. This does appear to be a blue rock in a sphere that is giving off some kind of a resonant frequency, maybe? Not too dissimilar from the one that you picked up from the Inquisitor from time to time.
You said it's in his head?
What's that?
You said it was-
What?
It was in Trivar's head, or?
As far as what's in Trivar's head, is that what you're asking?
Oh yeah, where was this blue sphere?
So the light is from what Tia is describing is something you did not see happen. Essentially, when both the delegate and Bivar were killed, you all wouldn't have noticed any sort of blue light floating into this sphere. But you were there when they were both killed. So you're seeing the stone that Tia is describing, but you don't recall the effect that Tia is describing, if that makes sense. This is nothing to do with Trivar.
Yep, nope, I got you now.
Sorry.
No, you did great. I was like, you know what, I should probably explain that just in case people think it's something that they missed.
So I guess he would ask, then, I mean, do you think it is a soul?
I think it might be multiple souls, but I don't really know. I don't know what else would have happened if, like, it was only the killing blow that had this effect that I saw. And she was, like, carving away for a while there. That also sounds awful, but that's basically what she was doing.
But then it swallowed her soul as well? Or no, the girl that was...
Yeah, the delegate.
Not the Inquisitor, right?
Right.
I'm
So-
bad at words and their meanings.
I mean, that looks like a rock. Sometimes I get a floaty thing that I can see in my eye, and I can't quite get it out. Are you sure it wasn't something like that? And you thought it went to the rock?
Well, I mean, I saw it twice. So, I mean, it could have been just me something like that, but the chances of it happening twice in exactly the same way with the same circumstances are very unlikely.
Harry, you know magic things. They're magic in that rock.
Can I arcana that, I guess?
Sure. Yeah, you can make an Arcana check if you'd like. I mean, you are familiar enough, even with an 8, to know that certain spells require certain material components of it, being pretty familiar with them yourself. So it's not unheard of that something might be, that the staff might be casting some sort of spell or doing something like that, but it's really hard to tell. This is so foreign to any other type of magic you've ever seen, if it even is magic.
I think I ran it through. Oh fuck! I forgot what I named it.
Most of the magic we covered at the academy had to do with affecting the mind in some way or another.
I mean, there's already a soul in this being. What if we properly disposed of this one, and next time we put the rock inside of what I'm trying to pull back? Maybe if his soul's in there, maybe it'll help me pull it into the body.
Maybe, but there's, I think, lots of potential souls, and I don't think it would be fair to any of them to subject them to that kind of experiment, to be honest.
I don't.
Like, I think if we're gonna do anything with this stone, it has to be, we have to be sure. Like, if there are souls in this, then we can't we can't run the risk of damaging them in any way, I think.
Your concern makes sense. I can continue my present course.
Mm-hmm. And I
In the
think
meantime.
I think properly dispatching this one, like, there's some merit to that. Like, I'm not really sure if the spear requires anything special to do what it did before, but if we did, as you say, dispatch of Trivar with the spear, maybe we would be able to see if a soul comes out.
Well, I don't think putting a soul into the rock is natural. I meant when the honorable among us die or are close to passing, they're buried at the end, and there's a ritual that we do to see them off and help them rejoin the cycle.
Tia,
Yes?
you're normally quite good at learning about the properties of certain items. Have you spent? I imagine you have spent time studying this. Have you found
Yes.
anything?
I mean, the results were inconclusive, and she'll, like, bring out the readings from the Magilitmus test and just, like, point at different inconsistencies and just, like, I don't remember exactly what the reading said, but it didn't tell me a whole lot. Except that the spear was taking something from its victims and storing them in this stone. And the stone is kind of magical, but also not. I don't know. It's very difficult to understand.
I would tend to agree with Vol that I don't think making more souls the victim of this trap would be anything I'd be interested in partaking in.
Hmm.
I'd
Yeah,
be more
that's-
interested in learning how to release them. We don't know what it's like in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, I got caught.
It's unnatural for them to be stuck in a small, inanimate space like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
as for Trivar, I feel like he can't continue with us, and the extent of our learning with him is through. Maybe we thank him here and rejoin him with nature.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
If
Toby,
you could
you
help
good?
me, then we need to dig a shallow grave.
Why
Yeah,
shallow?
Sure.
Oh,
I'd rather show than explain, if you wouldn't mind.
I
Okay.
mean, all right. The surprises have been a little bit much, but I think this is safe, right?
This is safe. There's no harm.
All right.
So he would instruct you to dig like a shallow coffin-sized hole in the ground, like deep enough that he could lay in and maybe have like a half of a foot above his chest to the ground.
I'll cast Unseen Servant to help with that, but I myself will not be digging any holes.
Yeah, absolutely. So he
Relic
would.
will happily dig.
Whatever
Beautiful.
black magic Vol has
Yeah,
been
I'll-
using this whole time is now pulling the dirt away at its until you realize it's Perry doing that with the unseen servant.
Perry is on his floating disc with luxury pillows, drinking wine made from those berries that Vol makes, instructing the Unseen Servant to dig.
Oh, good berry wine shouldn't be a thing.
I'm a little hedonistic. Good berry wine should be a thing.
It is a thing in Eberron.
That's true.
Okay, so the hole is dug. It is. You guys kind of find a nice tree to dig the hole beneath, and the morning sun has kind of begun to rise above the eastern skyline a little bit. You would estimate, though, it's probably 8 o'clock in the morning. You guys aren't burning away the day at all yet, but it is starting to heat up. I would say it's probably hit the high 80s at this point.
Yes, once the hole's dug, he would just say to Trivar,
Trivar, lay on your back in the hole.
It would get down into the hole and lay down.
We need to cover him with the dirt, except for his heart and his face.
Oh, okay. Sure. Here, I have a shovel. Pulls it out of his haversack.
Yeah, you guys go ahead and you bury the body as Vol described. It is now a knoll snoot sticking up out of the ground, as well as the upper parts of his chest.
yeah. So once it's all there, except for like it's, Vol would put like a little bit of dirt over the heart, so it was covered, but like very lightly. And then he would say to whoever's closest to the head,
At the end of the ritual, when the staff is in place, please spread the dirt over its face, or his face.
That's another one of Vol's rhymes.
yeah, he doesn't have to try anymore. But yeah, once he'd say that whoever's near the face, if somebody else or someone had a shovel up there, but after that's done, he'd take his staff and say,
Does anybody have any parting words?
He was the best of all gnolls. He was the worst of gnolls.
That's so kind.
Oh, I think a worthy try. That's all
Thanks.
I can say. Yep.
Yeah, so once he looks around for anybody else, and when nobody does, he says,
This will take a bit. I'll need to catch up with you in the town. Please do not disturb me. Just cover the face when I am done.
and he would then say a bunch of stuff in Aquan, holding the staff over his staff over the heart. And once he finishes saying a couple lines in Aquan, he's gonna ram the staff down into the heart, and then look up and say,
Cover the face.
and what he's casting for 8 hours is plant growth.
Okay.
So he says something in the lines of like,
You've lived an honorable life. Please rejoin nature.
Yeah, you take your time and begin chanting. All of you kind of understood by Vol's request that he would like to be left out here during this time. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. The breakfast is in your bellies, ready to go. You're all starting to get kind of tired. This is, not too far off from when you'd normally go to bed. If you peer down over the cliff towards Uzukraz, you see that most of the caravans have made it inside at this point. There's probably 2 or 3 still waiting outside the city gates.
Well, we should probably get in there.
Yeah, I can.
See if we can find. What's her name?
Yeah, I can try to send her a message to let her know we're here.
That would be great.
That way. Yeah. That way, maybe it won't be such a big deal that we have Clipper and Answer with us.
Well, I mean, I can disguise myself. It would just take some effort and energy and a lot of metal sculpt cream. He pulls out a jar of metal sculpt cream.
Oh. I want to touch it, but I'm afraid at the same time.
It's very acidic. Be careful.
Yeah, it's like the jingle for this cream has like 20 seconds of quick talking at the end of the commercial. With, like, fucking just like all of the different side effects and like warning. Do not use on yourself. Do not use on other people. Do not keep around yourself. Do not keep in your house.
May cause artificial intelligence uprising.
Right, exactly. Just completely over the top. So what would you guys like to do? You're up on the hill. You would wager to take you about 20 minutes to get Annabelle, the cart, and the rest of you guys down the hill as Vol kind of quietly chants in the background with his staff jammed down into the knoll, which is, Vol, for your purposes, has died again.
I'd like to distort
poor
some
guy.
value for sure.
All right. What are you doing here? Give me the skinny.
Just like we did before, just taking kind of a bunch of our coins and distorting their value to look like the currency in the area that we're in, rather than Bulletarian.
Okay. Yeah, I think based on just the way that like the cubics would work, for now we'll just say, and I'm sure I'm way undershooting this, but we'll say you can distort the value of up to like 500 coins because it's 1 cubic foot, so you can fit a lot of coins in 1 cubic foot. But I don't know, they're weird. They're hard to pile on top of each other, so because they're not perfect, you know what I mean. So we'll say that up to 500 of your coins you can distort the value of.
And how far away from town are we?
20 minutes.
When we get a little closer, I will cast Comprehend Languages as well as a ritual.
Okay. Yeah, I play under the assumption that you can maintain a ritual spell as long as you're not doing anything else or breaking concentration or anything. So you can definitely hold that and then just kind of keep it active as you go.
It only goes for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a ritual. It'll take you some time to cast, so you can keep it up. Again, if you have to start casting other spells, it would break the concentration required.
Gotcha.
Okay. If you guys don't have anything else, then you load up the cart, and Annabelle begins to pull again as you make your way winding down the road towards the gates of Uzakraz. During the journey, you see the caravan in the front move into the city. It appears to then push the line forward. There are now 2 caravans in front of you as you kind of stand out front waiting. Few minutes pass. Any of you that are casting any sort of spells can do so now, be it Disguise Self or Distort Value or whatever, the Comprehend Languages, whatever they may be.
Well, were we going to send a message ahead of us?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, they'll definitely know we're here. So
They're not going to think we're attacking them, are they?
That's a good question. I don't know how to keep the frogs from exploding. Maybe we can drop it in a dig a hole and drop it in a hole. Maybe that would help.
Yeah. I mean, I can dig a hole. I got practice earlier.
Okay, we'll try that, I guess.
Okay. I'm gonna dig a nice deep hole for her.
All right, you guys get decently out of range of Vol to not disturb his ritual. You dig another hole. Tia, you
we have a man
you pull out one of your
famously digs holes with magic, right?
Yeah, I know, but he's
not really
famously quiet.
Poor Rallick out here breaking his ass in the hot day sun. But hey, that's just kind of the way. Yep. Yeah, Perry, you can help. You guys, if you want to, or your ends can certainly help if you want to. But you guys dig the hole, and Tia, you've got one of your mechanical frogs. What would you like to say?
Yeah, I'll wind it up, press record, and say, "Hi, Yodel. We're here. We're alive for now. How should we come in?" And that's all she'll say.
Okay. Yeah, you pretty quickly get a response that says, just come inside the gate and wait there.
Okay. She says to just wait for her inside the gate.
I can do that.
I really hope it's actually her talking to us, because if it's not, I don't even know.
Well, who else would be talking through the frog?
I have no idea. I have no idea how it works. I don't know. I don't know. But I guess we gotta go find out.
I mean, didn't you build that thing?
Yeah, but they're supposed to go hop off and deliver the message, not explode and immediately deliver the message and then transmit a response into my brain. That's not how they're supposed to work.
I can see why you wouldn't have intended that.
Yep. Not at all to spec.
Oh yeah, I guess for the sake of narrative, by the way, you put the frog in the hole, you cover the hole with dirt. A few seconds later, there's a decently loud popping sound as a bunch of the dirt is upplaced, but no shrapnel kind of flies up out of the dirt and at you guys. That is when you would receive the response, yeah. But you can then make your way down to the path. We'll cut forward again. You guys are casting your ritual spells. You are waiting kind of patiently in line. Some time passes. We'll say, maybe a half hour or so before you get to the front of the... There are 2 orcs standing there. Pretty casual clothing, you know what I mean? It looks like they could fight in it. They have weapons at their sides, but they're not wearing plate armor or anything. They regard all of you with a little bit of suspicion. They spot Eligor with you all and speak in his direction. Speaking Orcish, so Perry, you would understand. They say, goods to declare. What brings you to Uzakraz?
Visiting friends.
Okay. Anything in the cart you need to declare? Anything you want to sell? Do you need a merchant stamp?
I'm going to look at the rest of the group.
Um,
I'm going to tell them what they said.
Okay.
I don't think so.
If we're gonna be here for a while, it might be kind of cool to be able to make things and sell them, or like fix things for people. But I don't know what the process for that would be. We can worry about it later.
I'll let them know nothing to declare.
Okay. Yep, they'll do one quick check of the cart where they spy. Perry, are you disguised as two answers?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I would be disguised as one answer, and the other answer is answer.
Okay. So there are
But
two.
no, I'm just Perry.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So they do a quick view of the cart. Let's roll something.
Yeah, they can do like investigation against me if they want to, but.
Yeah, I mean, they take a quick look over the cart and everything, and without really thinking much else, move out of the way and allow you into the town. What you guys would notice here inside of the gates of Uzukraz, there are significantly more buildings than in the previous town. The defensive perimeter wall goes all the way around, whereas the other town had kind of half walls in certain places. This is kind of a glimpse into the life of orcs that live more towards the interior of the country. You see like an entire herd of orcish children chasing each other in the streets, darting between buildings and in and out of the little alleyways. The caravans have kind of made a place over here on the eastern side of the town, where they appear to have kind of set up shop, and they're beginning to trade goods. You see the caravan in front of you heading in that direction. Just like the walls outside, the buildings appear to be made of the hardy acacia wood that you've seen growing in this place. The roofs are stretched hide, held together by massive bones that act as struts. Plumes of smoke rise from the center chimney and several of the roofs. You see, like, when you get this close, you can see what you see in the other town, that all of the roofs kind of have this central chimney built into them, so that any fires lit inside, the smoke just kind of goes in and out. As the herd of children kind of pass running by you, one of them breaks off from the group and runs up towards you. It's a little girl. She's got no hair pretty much anywhere except the middle top of her head, and it's like a long ponytail that sticks straight up in the air. It's probably like 5 inches off her head. All of her hair is kind of like pulled up into that. She approaches the caravan and stops for a moment and looks at you. She seems to be looking for something, and then spots specifically Tia and runs up to you. She says something in Orcish in your direction. Eligor and Perry, you would understand it as, "Hi."
She says hello.
Oh, that's right. Rorik speaks Orcish too.
Hi. Tia will probably actually try to imitate the word that the child said and fail miserably, and then say hi afterwards.
Sure. Yeah, Tia's like, "Fence post." And you guys are like, "What?" And then you take a moment, and the girl then turned towards those of you who can understand her and say, "Lady Yodel told me that you guys would be coming, and that you're supposed to go over to the tavern." She points off in the direction to the east, the large building where you probably saw the tokens focus before. "You're supposed to go inside and talk to Zabub, and then you tell Zabub you want to play cards, and then Zabub will send you to Yodel."
Okay, I like cards. Sounds like fun. They want to play cards with us.
Oh, but we're like dying? Don't they want to take us to a doctor?
You want to play cards.
Are you like
Let's go play
mind tricking
cards.
me right now? Okay.
I can't
No,
actually
let's go play
respond to them. I
cards.
can only translate.
Okay, I guess let's go. Can we thank her? I want to give her chocolate, but I only have so much, and like we could die.
But she does look at you all expectedly.
Can maybe some of us go play cards while the rest go to the doctor?
I thought this was more of a we should go there to go to the doctor.
Oh, like a code. Oh, I see.
Yeah, wink, wink, nudge,
Okay.
nudge.
Okay.
Oh, I get it. That's
Can we,
pretty
like-
slick. This girl's smart.
My God, she's a brilliant child. She deserves a reward. I have nothing. Can I like give her like a half-broken failed robot and see if she'll take it?
Wait a second. No, we could make her something really.
Yeah,
good
you
with
can
it.
absolutely
Here.
give the child trash if you'd like to give the
Well,
child trash.
All right, go ahead. Sure.
You hand the child a pile of trash, and she looks at it confused.
It's a loosely connected pile
See,
of
between
trash.
you and me, we could make a toy in like 5 seconds.
Okay. I'll take it back. I'll like wave my hands like I'm gonna do some kind of magic trick. And then I'll take it back and I'll like fix it and have Clipper help me make it beautiful.
Yeah, we just start going to town on. I'll like start carving something with wood, and she'll start like hammering out metal.
Sure, let's do woodcarver's tools and tinkerer's tools to make her something. Yeah. Tell me what it is you make her. You definitely succeed.
Let's see. I think we should make. What do you think? Like, what were you gonna give her originally? You could make her a frog. You're good at those.
Yeah, I was thinking like
Frogs
some
explode,
kind of.
though. That doesn't seem like a.
It's not very safe. Some kind of like anthropomorphic action figure.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe?
It's got like a karate chop move.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like
You squeeze its tummy and it goes ka-cha.
Yeah, it's like Vol, and it just belches when you touch its tummy.
Excellent.
That's adorable.
So she, goes from confusion to absolute delight as she takes her toy. Her friends call to her to rejoin whatever game it is they're playing, and she shakes her head and runs off in a different direction with her new toy. A few of them curiously look at her and then look at you, and then they all go running after her to see what the hell's going on. So she turns around and hears Rorik say, thank you, and she waves in your general direction, and she'll kind of disappear off into an alley.
Okay, so we're gonna go play medicine card.
I hope we win.
You'll never know, Rallick. Well, maybe you'll know soon, if that one blows up. Right next to the tavern, there is a stable where you could hook up the card as well as Annabelle. There's food and water there. There's nobody attending this one like there was the other one. There also don't appear to be many carts here. Most of them, from what you can tell, are over in the area where people are selling goods.
Yeah, I'll go off and let Annabelle off the cart and tell her to eat and drink, even though she doesn't.
She says, "You eat and drink."
Fine, I will. Yeah, go eat and drink.
Okay.
Good advice.
But not her food. She already tricked me in that one.
Okay. For the sake of brevity, we will say that those of you who have come inside of the city gates, so the party minus full, head into the tavern-looking tent over here. With it being so early in the day, it is mostly empty. When you come inside, you see a design similar to the previous bar you were in. There's a large U shape in the middle of the room where the bartender moves up and down, filling drink orders. Based on the levels of disarray of the patrons, you would assume that the ones that are in here have been here since last night. A few of them are sleeping in their chairs and at the small tables. There is, as Janessa described him, I'll bring him back. you see this. I don't know why it's not working. Hold on, sorry. What was described last week as a quote shirtless fuckboy behind the bar is making drinks and kind of just patiently waiting. He sees you all come in and waves in your direction.
Oh yeah, I'll go over.
Good evening, sir. We're here to play some cards.
It's evening. It's morning, but cards. Yeah, okay, cards. He points around the side of the bar. There's like a cordon of the tent that's kind of like roped off. It's got canvas hanging. He says, "Yeah, Yodel said that people were coming to play cards. You can go play cards. I'll be back in a few minutes to take drink orders." Unless you want something now.
No. I want to play cards.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over to that side.
I'd also like to play cards.
Bunch of interesting looking folk.
Oh yeah, we get that all the time. No, they don't speak a lick of orc though, so don't mind that.
Harry smiles a little too wide at him and just kind of nods, just keeping eye contact and smiling.
You don't count.
I don't count for what?
You know what you did.
I really don't. I do a lot of things.
Alright, let's go play cards, Perry. Because I know you're good at playing cards.
Do you? Why do you know that?
Because you're a gnome. Gnomes play good cards, right?
I'm not a gnome.
You gotta be fooled.
I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but I think it's racist.
You guys continue to have this conversation in half orcish and half not orcish, much to the confusion of Zabub, who kind of just looks at one of you and then looks at the other and looks. He sees Ralik smiling, he smiles back at him. So yeah, Yodel's back there.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jipper.
Hello, Jipper.
Hello.
Wait, we don't speak the same language.
Oh. Let's go that way, where everybody else is. Okay, we wander back.
Okay. Yeah, you head off into the quartered area of the tent. You pull the flap aside. It's kind of in a closed state right now, and you see a familiar face. You spot old Yodel sitting at a table. It's the only table in this room. There's about 12 chairs circling the table, 5 on each side and then 2 on the ends. Pretty easy to tell that this is a private area for playing cards. She is sitting directly opposite of you guys so that when you come in the flap, she can kind of stand up and pull her chair out and then come over. And she sees Tia and all of you and smiles and comes around the corner with a, kind of a very friendly gait and says, I'm very glad you made it.
Yeah, it was much easier than I thought it would be.
Oh, that's good to hear. The roads didn't give you trouble then.
No. Well, no, not really, but this is a very lovely town. I'm Jipper, by the way. Hello.
Hello, Chipper. The turtle and the machine, the Warforged, they did not make the journey with you.
The turtle is out talking with nature and stuff on the hill outside the town, and the Warforged is around. But he's safe. And she'll just, like, glance over at Jipper, I guess.
But we're not feeling very well.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, the situation in the country is probably going to get a little bit delicate based on what happened after the peace talks. So I thought that this would give us a nice private place to talk. I don't live in this town, so I figured this was the closest I could get to you and still be helpful. I'm glad the roads weren't too difficult. Please, have a seat. I'll explain what I can.
Thank you. Everyone here is so nice.
Thanks, I guess.
I know, it's almost as if you didn't expect them to be.
Are people from where you're from not nice?
Actually, that's kind of true, yeah.
Yeah, but also, like, we've all been at war for so long, like, you would think people would be meaner towards us.
We call it boletarian nice. It's kind of passive-aggressive.
Yeah, it's nice, but you don't make eye contact.
Just, maybe don't hint at where you're from, and, just keep a low profile. That's all I would suggest. For the most part, lots of people move through the country, fleeing the war, from both sides. Refugees, people who no longer wish to fight. Unless you make problems for yourself, you probably won't have many. Anyway, can you explain to me what the problem was? That method of communication was very strange, and I honestly wasn't even sure if you were really going to be here or if I was losing my mind.
Oh, that's exactly how I felt. I have no idea really how it works, but it apparently does, because you're not Yodel, and you don't want to murder us, I think. So, thumbs up.
No, definitely don't want to murder you. That was... okay. Anyway, what is the problem? What happened?
Oh, yeah, so when we were trying to find the missing delegates, we came across these big green monsters. I don't remember what they were called, Fullwood, but they basically infected us with their babies, and if we don't treat them or find a way to remove them, they are going to eat our insides and burst out of our chests. Also, we don't feel great during that process. So, yeah.
She kind of leans back in her chair the more you describe it before saying, and this problem affects how many of you?
2, as far as we know, I think.
About half the people.
What? That's not how math works. That it's you and me, and then there's how many of that? That's not half.
It was everyone that got in contact with those things.
Do you know how many of you it is?
Is it 4 or 5 of us?
Rallic would know.
It was 5.
5. Thank you, Relic.
Yeah, I think all of us other than Vol and Clipper.
No, I'm
not infected.
I can't be infected. I've been giving some of you morning after pills in
I said
order
except
to
for.
prevent the infection from spreading.
So yeah, you
I've got a
would
strong gut.
yeah, you would know that it was everybody so far except Perry and Clipper. When you say Clipper, she says so Jipper is fine, and Vol is the Vol is the turtle, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And then you, when she looks towards Perry, you're not having any symptoms. You feel fine.
No, I eat a lot of things, and it never upsets this tummy.
Eat? Did you all try to eat this monster?
No, I'm just saying that I have good constitution.
Oh. Okay.
No, it was the other way around. It tried to eat us.
That's true.
Monsters have a tendency of doing that. You had said something, and she lowers her voice a bit, about your country sucks? You were betrayed?
Yeah!
I don't mean to pry, but it sounds like. I hope you understand. I just want to know the full picture of exactly what I'm getting into. And
political punk rock T-shirts. Like...
sounds like a very delicate situation, and we need to have a very delicate conversation about it in private. At which point, Zabub bursts into the flapped area and is like, "Who needs drinks?"
Oh, a drink would be
I'll
lovely.
take one.
Yes, please.
All right, 1, 2, 3. He stops. 3.
I'm good.
Okay, I think I can do that. Yodel, is this going on your tab? She nods, and he leaves.
Oh, I can pay for it.
He leaves the room. Yodel motions towards Perry and is like, "No, you are guests here. There's no need for you to pay. Obviously, I can't. Let's see how much money you decide to spend. But my tab here is quite all right. Don't worry about it."
Thank you.
She nods.
Very kind.
Let's wait for him to come back, and then I'll tell him not to come back for a while. Oh, go ahead.
Does he normally not wear clothes?
I mean, I would assume all of you have experienced how hot it can be here during the day. It gets pretty hot back in the kitchen, so I don't know. He just doesn't wear a shirt.
Oh, I suppose that makes sense. It doesn't.
I mean, he is wearing some clothes, but.
I suppose that makes sense. We've been sleeping during the day mostly because, yes, it's very hot.
That's smart. You should travel during the night. It's much easier to move about, though some of the predators in the area move around at night as well. But for the most part, burrowers, some of the snakes, things like that. As long as you don't get too far from the road, you should be okay. The roads have regular patrols that go down them, so just stick to those and you should be fine. But I guess that's sort of falls on deaf ears. You've all made it here now. Zabub comes back with the drinks. 3 drinks. He puts them down. He looks around the table, forgetting who ordered them, and just kind of backs slowly out of the room. Yodel lets him know, Zabub, we're going to be playing cards, so please keep the flap shut. I don't want any distractions. He nods and says, okay, if you need any more drinks, just, you come see me. And he leaves the flap.
I'll grab a drink.
I'll grab my drink.
So, what happens to your companion?
My companion?
Yeah, the big angry guy.
Oh. She stops.
That's funny, that sounds an awful lot like one of my companions. It's a joke.
Are you talking about the Houndmaster? Umra? The one that picked up your friend and threw him at the rest? Okay.
Yeah,
angry
that
one.
guy.
I think I get what you mean now.
I'm speaking in Orcish, by the way.
Yeah, she'll just continue to respond in common, for the sake of the other people who are here. She'll say, the Houndmaster was part of my delegation, but he's not, we're not companions per se. He's an old goat, that one, but I believe he's back with his family. He might have gone back to the front. I'm really not sure. Did you have business with him?
No, I was just wondering.
Oh. Well, like I said, he's a little bit testy. It's probably better that you reach out to me as opposed to him. But regardless, the problems you had, your country sucks. Are you looking to defect? Is that? I mean, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask this question, but I would appreciate information.
I'm gonna speak. I'm just gonna speak very firmly in Orcish. No, we are not defecting. We just ended up in a predicament that causes some moral differences between us and our country.
She looks at the rest of you to see if you're satisfied with that explanation. Are you saying that in Orcish, by the way?
Oh yeah, no. I'm saying this directly in Orcish.
I obviously can't speak Orcish, so in Halfling, I'll say many of us still have family in Boletaria. Family we hope to see again.
Yeah, she understands Common, so if you just want to tell her that in Common, she'll...
I forgot that Common is a language.
Mm-hmm.
Do that in Common.
Yeah, she'll... Basically, I should have clarified that, I'm sorry. She is communicating with all of you in Common, the same language that she approached you with when you were all at Tetzinger. So, from what you can tell, it seems like some of the folks around here speak Common, but not all of them. It has a tendency to lean towards folks with military training, as best you can tell. She nods towards Perry and says, well, I mean, I suppose, obviously, that you don't want to betray your families. I think it's terrible that you can't just go back to them for help, but you came to me, and I can try to help. I don't know much about disease, but the reason that I met you here in Uzukraz, there is a very gifted medicine woman, we call them naturalists. Her name is Glasha Grad, and she is a very talented spiritual and physical healer. She is my best bet for someone that might be able to help you with this. As far as the problems with your country, I only ask that that you don't involve me if you can help it.
I mean, we'll do our best, but to be honest, us being here might involve you in a way, but we didn't really see any other choice, so I'm sorry.
She kind of sighs. Are there people looking for you then?
We think so. We don't know exactly where they are. We just know that they're misinformed about certain events, and we are trying to find a way to prove the truth to them.
Well, perhaps it's best then if you don't tell me the details, then I can at least claim ignorance if anybody ever finds out.
That sounds wise.
What do you think I've been trying to do?
She eyes Rorik suspiciously based on their last encounter. The only problem is the medicine woman, the naturalist, Glasha. She's very busy. Oftentimes her schedule is booked day and night, and it can take days to gain an audience. Now, I spoke with her yesterday, and she has agreed to meet you all at sundown. If you've been traveling through the day, then it's probably best if we find a place for you to hunker down and sleep and rest. Maybe go retrieve your friend. If he's one of the one that he's infected, you might want to hear what she has to say. And after you've all slept, we can go and meet with Glasha. And there is one problem.
Oh?
What's that?
Glasha is suspicious by nature, but she is very smart. She has asked me not to come with you. I can lead you to the tent, but I'm not allowed to come inside during the conversation. She doesn't speak your common language, but it sounds like you have enough of you to translate that you might be okay. She is, she's my older sister. So, she has reasons to distrust me. We didn't have the best upbringing together, but she has banned me from meeting with her, but allowed me to present you. You're going to have to explain this to her on your own, and the only thing I can tell you is be upfront Do not lie. Be as honest with her as you can. It's very important that you tell her everything, answer every question that she asks. There's a good chance she will know if you do not.
We won't lie.
Yeah, that seems fair. Is there, like, are there any things that... I don't know how to ask this. Like, what... Are there any things that we would say that she would find particularly offensive?
No, she's not, she's not easily offended or anything, but it's more a matter of truth with her. She has very little patience for people who try to lie or try to get the upper hand on her. It's not that complicated. Just be truthful and be polite, and you should be fine.
Well, that doesn't seem so hard. We're very honest folk.
Yes, Jipper is very honest.
I've never lied in my life.
She may ask you why you have not gone home to your own country, and while I'm okay with you not telling, I would recommend telling her. If you refuse to be truthful, she may refuse help, and it sounds like you need her help.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Is there anything we can do for you? Like, we obviously greatly appreciate the opportunity to continue living, and, like, is there anything we can do to repay you for this?
Let's see if I'm of any help first before we decide that I need payment. I'm still going to just try to make up to you the first time we met with... she looks towards Rorik. What my companion did to you was a slight and not the way that we treat outsiders. So I would like to perhaps at least offer the sit down as a way of recompense for such a thing.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's very noble and appreciated.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's funny. Yeah, she kind of nods and she says, well, perhaps you could go retrieve your friend, and I can talk to Zabab. I believe his place should be empty because he's on the day shift and he lives alone. So we could probably have you just kind of crash there for the day. I'll watch the door. It's fine.
Cool. I think Vol said... Did Vol say he was gonna be busy for a couple hours?
Yeah, he said not to bother. He's pretty smart. I'm sure he can find us. Maybe he'll just send a frog or something.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe we can have the kids go tell him? I don't know if they're allowed out or if it's safe for them to go out.
Very unwise. Given what we know he's doing.
Oh yeah, I guess
I don't think the children would like to see that.
That's true.
You have to think about these things. Their minds are very vulnerable.
She's like, what is he doing? Oh. Okay, well...
Can I insight to see what I think he thinks he's doing?
Yeah, go ahead.
He is doing something unholy.
Yeah, based on the way you guys described it, she thinks he's out there just spending some alone time, so she's got this kind of horrified look on her face. I won't judge. I have a friend who works... Do you know how long he's going to take? I have a friend who's on the day shift at the gate. If you think he'll be here before nightfall, then you can keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't it already kind of... No, it's morning. We're coming into morning, right?
Yep, early hours of the morning.
This, like...
It's gonna fuck with us the whole time you guys are here, I think.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, I think he said like 8 hours, right? Minus however long we've been here. So maybe like 7 hours?
Yeah, probably about 7 hours left.
And in the meantime, we're going to be staying at the shirtless guy's house.
Yeah, I mean, he's not there, he's here. If that makes you uncomfortable, you could stay outside, but...
Oh, no, that's fine. It's quite fine. I'm going to clean his house.
Oh my god, we could make him some shirts.
We could make him some shirts! I could make him
maybe like a little vest.
That's like, okay, yeah, that's sure. Orc
As
fashion.
a thank you. As a thank you.
Yeah.
Yodel advises that you guys stay here for a moment. She sticks her head back out of the cloth and comes back after a moment, holding some kind of a strange, small, wooden carved device. It looks like a peg, but it's carved in a very weird way. She says, Zebub has agreed. Let's just say he owes me more than one favor. Gather your things and let's go.
I will gather my things and let's go.
Yep. Zebub waves on the way by, mutters something under his breath about the fastest game of cards, and you guys are pretty much very easily able to come to his house. Let's pick one for him. Roll. Clipper.
Yes.
Pick a house that Zebub lives in.
Okay. He lives in this thing pretty close by. It looks pretty intimidating.
Yeah, totally. So Zebub lives
big fire pit in the middle.
In this nice big bachelor pad right inside the city gates. It's strange because there are multiple bedrooms, and Yodel did mention he lives alone. You check the other bedrooms, and there is no furniture in the other bedrooms. He just lives there by himself.
We should make him some furniture.
Sounds
we have
familiar.
all
Oh my gosh.
I've been here before.
Are we making him friends as well? Are we gonna turn into Vol?
We can pimp this yurt.
Just as a thank
no.
you for letting us use his home.
Oh, we're doing Queer Eye, or what is it? Adventurer Eye for the orc guy.
There you go. And with that, we'll say that you guys can all hunker down for the day in order to rest. Vol, you're going to be missing the long rest here with your ritual, unless you'd like to skip the end of your ritual. So let's just real quick. Let's have you roll 3 Constitution saving throws, if you would, please.
All right.
Oh no! Don't die.
I'll try.
Not trying very hard.
Dead.
I've got some morning after pills.
So you know what? We'll deal with that when you get back. Everybody, go ahead and let's take 10 minutes, and we will reconvene after.
All right. Lesser resto. All right.
exhaustion, you make it back to town, or to town, I guess, for the first time. During your entrance, one of the guards pulls you aside and points to a hut directly in front of you, where the door is ajar. Yodel is sitting outside under kind of like a canopy. She's carving at a piece of wood. She stands up and waves to you as you approach and says, your friends are inside sleeping. We can catch you up after. Have you slept? You look terrible.
I haven't slept. I was trying to accomplish something, but this place is far hotter than I'm used to, and there's no trees to block the sun.
Yeah, it's especially out there. It can get very hot. Why don't you go inside? She looks around before unhitching her own water skin and hands it to you. She's like, maybe just drink all of that.
Yeah, he chugs the entire thing and then wipes his mouth, does like a side burp, like pointedly not burping in her face, but angling it to the side out of like respect for giving him the water.
Just saying that, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll go inside. Is there a pit or a pool somewhere I can dip my whole body in first?
She looks around and kind of shrugs. She says, there are wells, but if you climb down into one, you probably could not get back.
How do you people stay cool in this heat? Oh.
Well, we stay inside during the day, and we drink a lot of water.
Okay, I'll try inside.
And he, like, slowly, not even lifting his feet, just like kicking up dust as he shuffles in.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say you make it inside to the point where the first 2 hours of your long rest will count as you keeping watch. You weren't really doing a lot of strenuous activity, so you are able to lay down and take a full rest. You come into this place and you notice some things. There's a good portion of the inside of the kind of like the main area that is very clean. It's like suspiciously clean, almost like somebody has just recently cleaned it. But you do see members of your party kind of spread out on their bedrolls. Rorik is still apparently absent at this moment, but looking around, you do spot everybody else, so you are able to kind of pick a corner and hunker down. It's much, much cooler inside of here. The temperature indoors is probably below 80 degrees as opposed to outside where it's over 100. So
I think he comes in and looks around and just lowly mutters a few times about like
these land dwellers and their filthy cleanliness,
and then just kind of like keels over and recedes into his shell and goes to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, Tia, Perry, why don't you make a sewing tools check, and Tia can assist, because making something like that probably should be sewing of some sort. You can use either dexterity or intelligence. Okay. Yeah, you managed to fashion about 2 really nice looking vests out of some loose cloth that you were able to commandeer, I suppose. He might have one less couch pillow, but now he's got 2 vests.
I imagine it's got like some fancy beadwork, basically. So
okay.
It's like, yeah, that's what the metal parts are.
And I actually wanted to go shopping for him as well, because he has so little furniture, and I would like to furnish his place.
Okay. So you guys would start taking levels of exhaustion if you don't hunker down for your long rest first. But you will have time after you wake up before you meet the naturalist, if you would like.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I just want to do it before he gets off work so that he comes home to a nice, furnished, clean home.
Totally. Okay. The little thing that she had retrieved, by the way, I forgot to mention this, that little carved piece of wood, she slid it into a little box next to the door that released the latch that holds the door closed. It appears to be some kind of lock and key system. You all hunker down for your rest, except for Rorik, who has not joined you just yet. Rorik, you do only need to rest for 4 hours, so it sounds like you had some plans, something you wanted to take care of first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the wherever market they have.
Okay. Yeah, it's very easy to find. You spotted it on your way to the inn. There, over like in this general direction, there are multiple caravans kind of set up over here. People trading goods. You don't notice a lot of people outside right now, as the morning hours have begun to bleed into the afternoon hours. A lot of folks are staying inside, but some of the wagons are covered, and there are people sitting inside of the wagons, kind of talking to each other. Apparently, they still sell goods during this time, but you could head over there if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna start asking around if any of them have just general supplies, if they have like stored food, like dried foods and stuff like that, and if anyone has a detailed map of the area.
Okay, why don't you give me an investigation check? We'll see what kind of vendors you can find. Okay. Yeah, with a 12, I mean, you're able to find a general goods vendor. You're able to find a vendor that is selling some form of dried food. You don't spot anybody that is selling any kind of a map, as best you can tell.
Okay, from whoever I got, or I'm getting the dried food from, I'm gonna ask them if they know any really good trading routes in the area, just trying to get a better sense of bearing of just the general location, places to go,
Sure.
places to avoid.
Yeah, let me move over to the map, and I'm just going to kind of give you a brief description. What they would explain is that the path that leads west out of town will go for a couple of days before reaching another set of foothills. I'm assuming you explained you came from the east, right? So they don't send you off in the direction you came. So yeah, if you head out of town west, you'll have a couple days travel before you hit another set of foothills. Once you've reached those foothills, it'll break away, and then you should be able to spot what they call Izardul. I'll put the name in chat. They explain that there are 3 cities that circle the base of Izardul. I can put those names in chat as well, but essentially as you circle around Izardul, you'll find multiple cities. They recommend not traveling south of Izardul to a place called Oz Belgran. Things are a little bit tense down there right now. Northwest would take you back towards the border. Probably not a good idea to head in that general direction either. But the farther west you go, if you go as far west as you can, there's a place called Rosenvrock, and I'll put all these names in chat. But there are several bigger trading posts in Rosenvrock that might have more specific goods that you're looking for, but you're probably talking a pretty long journey to get there.
It was 3 days to get there?
Probably 3 days just to get to Izardul, and then if you wanted to go all the way to Rosenvrock, probably another couple of weeks.
And that the other place is heavier in trade, or is which one's the capital?
They kind of treat that question with some confusion. They're not sure what you mean by capital, but there are multiple big cities that have multiple different people living in them. I mean, it's the word capital doesn't mean anything to them. If you can try to, if you want to elaborate, they might be able to tell you more.
Yeah, I'd say the most people, the most trade, goods, information.
Okay. Yeah, they give you different names for different places. The most people is here. The most trade is there. It seems very non-centralized from the way that they're describing everything to you.
Okay. I'm going to also ask them who the local leader is.
Okay. For Uzakraz or?
Yeah, for Uzakraz.
Okay. Yeah, they'll give you a name. I just need to roll on a table to come up with a name. And did you have other questions?
Yeah, for the food, I'm gonna ask them, one, do they accept zebra coin? And two, how, like, what's the biggest bulk order you can get?
So they bulk order of what?
Food, just dried food.
Oh, for food. Yeah. I mean, they are more than willing to sell you everything that they have, because they're merchants, and if they offload their goods, then they're happy. But they do let you know it will come at twice the rate if you are using the zebra coins.
That sounds like a cryptocurrency, like every time.
Right?
All right, how many foods can I get that won't, force me to eat full of stuff?
So there is there's kind of a pause. He is not digging through his chest full of trade goods. He's digging through what appears to be a backpack. He takes one pile of something, separates a pile of that something into a smaller pile, and offers you 14 days worth of rations.
Deal. How much?
Go ahead and look up the general ration price in the PHB and just double it.
All right. Let me get my book.
The compendium should work too, but I don't have the price in front of me. But whenever you're done, you can mark the cost off. It's 14 days worth of rations. Just remember to mark it.
The second thing that I want to do is I want to I give them the money for the rations. Mm-hmm. Once I figure out how much that is, I'll mark that off. Okay. The second thing I want to do is I want to go to whoever is either the local leader or the local militia guy, and I want to inform them that one of their outposts was attacked and overrun by gnolls, and there were no survivors.
Okay. Yeah, so you get two different names. The first name is the local leader, who they inform you is not here. He is holding council in Osbelgran, which you would know just based on immediate recognition was the place that they told you to kind of avoid right now. But the captain of the guard will absolutely take down that information, and he kind of sighs and asks, if you were able to at least were the gnolls still there? Were they? Sorry, I wasn't really ready for this line of questioning, but he's essentially going to ask, if the gnolls were still there, did you manage to kill them all?
Yeah, I'll tell them that we managed to kill all the gnolls that we found there and we encountered, but there weren't any survivors among the carnage, and they were buried at the site.
Okay. Yeah, he will definitely thank you. He's going to He's going to hand you 5 gold pieces in the local coin, as opposed to the coin that you have, and basically say that it's not much, but thank you for reporting this. He's going to double the guard for the next patrol so that they can repopulate the outpost. He asks if you have any other questions because he's unfortunately got to go inform some families about the outpost being overrun.
I'm going to give him back his gold and like I don't need it. Give it to the families. My condolences. I would ask though that you don't mention that we've like random strangers helped, that it was passing guard. Make it seem like the locals did it.
Yeah, I mean, he'll shrug. He explains that he has to fill out a report, but he will definitely let the families know that their loved ones died bravely, and he appreciates you giving the coin back. He'll nod and dismiss himself and head off across town towards one of the shacks. I would say at this point it's probably been close to the 2 hours that you would need to get back by if you still want your 4 hours of rest. Did you have anything else in town you wanted to knock out? Otherwise, I can get you all these names.
No, I think that's it. I'm still looking for rations. I'm having difficulty.
Okay, yeah, no rush. Whenever you get them, just I trust you. Just mark off the cost on your sheet. Did anybody else have anything else they wanted to accomplish before y'all take a long rest? We've got new vests. The place is clean. Rourke did some information gathering. Managed to.
I think after the sleep, we have some probably like prep stuff we do, but no, I don't know if we have any stuff we need to do before.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough then. We'll kind of fast forward to the evening. All of you wake up, the air much cooler than it would have been during the day, probably in the high 70s at this point. The house retains heat very well though, so it's still a nice cozy, probably 80 degrees inside of here. You all kind of wake up, you see Rorik has returned and is, coming out of his rest alongside of you. The evening is yours. Yodel kind of peeks her head into the tent and explains when she sees that you're all up that you've got about maybe an hour or two before you should head up with her. She'll wait here. Just don't get into any trouble, and if anybody has anything they'd like to accomplish before you head off to see her, she'll be here waiting.
No, just a minor mechanical thing. I was gonna go to Rallick, and I was gonna say, I made these shield emitters for myself, but I'm realizing I don't get up close and personal like you did when you almost died recently. So I wanted to see if you would use them to keep all those arrows and swords from hitting you.
I honestly don't know what a shield emitter is, but I would be happy to if you think it would keep me safe.
Yeah, just one goes here on your chest here, and then one would go here on your back. I could secure those on there. It would only take like an hour.
Okay.
All right, just stand still.
Will it protect me if Volk casts another spell on me?
Yeah. This is just going to enhance the power of your armor, so it's only going to work on your armor.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like a good spot for it.
Okay, great. So yeah, you have one of my infusions right now. I took it off myself because I don't need a 21 AC, so yeah, I'm gonna remove that off me.
So +1 AC. Okay, cool.
There you go. All right. And that will only take a little while. I mean, that's pretty much breakfast. I'm just sitting there, like, following him around and gluing stuff onto him.
Sure. Yeah, you get him all hooked up with his additional AC. I think it's +1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So yeah, Rallick, you've got +1 to your AC now moving forward.
Great.
Did anybody else have anything else they want to accomplish? Any shopping? Any discussion? Anybody that'd like to talk to? Anything they'd like to see?
What's Eligor doing?
It's a good question.
He's out getting the water for.
Eligor might be taking a nap.
He went to the well to fetch some water.
Yeah. We'll say that he's kind of hanging around the house for now.
I would like to survey the area and get an idea for this gentleman's sense of decor, for his sense of personal style, and what kind of things he might like. And I would like to cast Tensor's Floating Disc, and I'm going to go shopping for furniture and other household supplies and decor.
Okay, very good. Yeah, give me an insight check if you would. It should give you some insight into his. So what you're able to tell is all of his decorum is extremely basic, like very basic plates, very basic silverware, very basic furniture.
Oh, that won't do. We're gonna snazz up the place a little bit.
He's got a super nice bed, but that's about it.
Oh no, we really are doing Adventure Eye for the orc guy.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna take whatever is a little more extravagant about his bed, and I'm going to base the rest of the place off of that.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Oh, go ahead.
I would say while you're doing that, I assume we're all still like there.
Yeah, everybody's still at the house.
Yeah, I think Vol would come over while you're doing it and say,
Sure you're doing this with good intentions, but don't you think you're forcing your likes on him? Maybe he likes it this way.
Are you saying
if
it's
you
like cultural appropriation?
Like the Queer Eye episodes in Japan where everything is Western.
Right, I mean, if he wanted his house to not be the way that it was, he probably would have done it before.
Well, Vol, I'm not taking anything that he has. I'm leaving all of the things he already has. I'm just adding to it. He has a lot of empty rooms. Nobody likes empty rooms, but he probably only has empty rooms because he doesn't have anything to put in them. So I'm just getting things to put in them for him.
Seems
As a thank you for letting me use this place.
Seems like maybe his opinion is the one that we should have asked for.
No, it's a surprise.
Are you
He
projecting
can always-
something right now, Vol?
He can always sell the stuff he doesn't want or give it away as a gift to someone else who might like it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's nothing forcing him to keep it. If he wants empty rooms, he can get rid of the things. I just thought it would be nice for him to come home to a furnished home.
Yeah, like maybe some plants. My mom always said plants were
plants would be
good
nice.
for a house.
You know better than me about these indoor livings, but I just know if someone moved the rocks in the swamp I like to sleep in, I wouldn't be very happy.
Oh no, see, I'm not moving anything. I'm just adding things. I'm bringing more rocks.
But that's the thing too, if you put rocks where I like to float underwater, you might not know I like to float there, but if I did like to float there, I wouldn't be very happy. I keep my swamp my way for a reason, is what I'm saying.
Well, gosh, well, I'm just trying to do something nice for somebody who's put himself out to help us.
I'm just saying, maybe it's a little bit of what we were talking about before, where different people see things differently. What you perceive as nice, he might not.
Okay, fine. I will.
Maybe we can just ask Yodel.
I don't know how well she knows him, but she might have a little bit of insight for him.
I'll just leave him some coin.
What I'm saying is just don't put a shirt on that body.
Oh
I hardly see how
That's
getting
just
him
a
a couch
compromise.
is.
Devil didn't
I
say
don't-
that. He'd say,
It's up to you. I just was assuming. You can do what you want.
Well, now I feel bad.
Well, I mean, I think you were doing a good thing. It's just, I was just worried maybe he wouldn't like it since he didn't have any input.
Perry, looking noticeably disappointed, is going to take out. I have a little bag of sand. I'm gonna empty the sand outside, and I'm just gonna put some coins in it, and I'm gonna leave it on his bed for him.
Okay. Yeah, you can. I mean, again, you know right where his bed is. You can put as much coin in the bag as you'd like, and just kind of put it in the middle of his bed if you'd like. Did anybody have anything else they wanted to do, or?
Nope.
Looks like I can get some Rorik here.
We don't necessarily have to like talk about it. We can go on to other things. It's just kind of a side conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just
Good
sorry.
man.
I'm reading it here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't necessarily dodge the question, but she would turn it around and ask you, this seems very important to you. Why does it matter who this man in the mask was?
For one simple reason. I need to challenge him, and I need to beat him.
Beat him at what?
In a duel. It's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing I have left.
I honestly don't know who you're talking about. There are culturally people who wear masks in battle. Without more information, it's not someone I know. But
Red mask, massive warhammer, fairly tall orc, tallest I've ever seen.
she looks at you. Make a persuasion check for me. Okay. Yeah, with a 21, she looks at you and says, look, most of the red masks come from the priests of Izardu. You could go there and ask. You might need to be specific. Scars, weapon types, when, where. There aren't many priests of Izardu left, but if he's still alive, that's probably where he is.
And is all dual.
Yeah, let me put that in the chat.
All right. That's more information than I've had in 3 years on a ghost. So thank you.
Well, if he was involved in the war, then he's probably dead. But hopefully, your ghost is not a ghost. But I don't know much about this. But Sounds
Well-
like you all have a little bit more on your plates right now than worrying about something like revenge. But I've told you everything I know.
Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily revenge, but definitely it's been a long road coming. And I fully intend to see that road through.
Well, let's maybe focus on getting you healthy, and then you can go from there.
Next thing you know, the alien pops out.
Yeah. Yeah, she sort of regards you and lets you finish what you're saying. She goes back to whittling the branch that she has been whittling for the last few hours. Has made it into kind of a nice looking quarterstaff by the looks of it. I will double check one last time. Anybody want to go shopping? Anybody want to do anything crazy?
I mean, they'll see what they have for sale. What do they got? What are the deals?
Okay.
I don't have any money.
So Clipper is going to head off.
Clipper, I'll go with you.
Okay. The two of you head off towards the.
I'm just gonna passively keep an eye out for nice furniture.
Okay.
I'll take along.
All right, he's gonna go. Looks like Eligor's got some goods he wants to
He
find.
wants to cover himself in oil, and when he
Yeah,
fights.
he's gonna give it to the shirtless guy.
I'll come along too.
It's the
We'll
nicest
go.
thing you could give a guy who's super impressed with his physique. Okay, yeah, it sounds like everybody's going to kind of go along. So, Rorik, we'll say during this time you and Yodel are talking. You're then able to catch up with them if you'd like to rejoin their shopping spree. But anybody that would like to go shopping and is looking for anything specific, I'd like you to make investigation checks. Okay.
Is this the shoppers that are doing the?
Yeah, these are the shoppers.
All right.
Oops.
Deal or no deal?
There we go.
Eligor intimidates two shopkeepers on the way by.
go.
Okay.
The oil. Where is it?
Exactly. Okay. I would say with relative ease, Eligor, you're pretty easily able to find somebody that is selling some finer goods, fineries, things like spices and things like that. They definitely have a jug of olive oil. I would say it's probably I don't know, maybe we'll say like a liter, let's say, of olive oil. They would be willing to part with for 10 gold pieces. It will be 20 if you're using your zebra coins.
20 it is. Yep.
Okay. So mark off your 20. And moving down the line, then we'll go to Vol. Were you looking for something in particular?
Yeah, so Vol is looking for, I don't know if he's going to find it. He's looking for a book about like animals in this kind of a biome that
Okay.
seem to be able to like deal with the heat. Like after his day out in the heat and the walking in the sun, he was kind of been like, nope.
Yeah, let's say with a 20 you do find a bookseller. And what you find, with maybe Eligor or Rorik's help, is a children's book about animals. And it's like got nice little drawn pictures in it. It's bound well. It's probably like 12 to 15 pages about different animals that you can spot while you are in the plains. With brief little descriptions about them and everything like that. The seller would be willing to part with it for 5 silver pieces, so one zebra coin if you've got it on you.
Yeah, he has, I have a bunch of gold. I think you just give him a gold and kind of like shrug and walk away.
Okay. Yeah, it's written in Orcish, but we can develop something like that for you to be able to read for sure. Tia, were you looking for something in particular?
Warforged parts or other things that seem like they may have come from the front.
You do spot a person like an armorer who's selling like weapons and armor and things like. They don't have any Warforged parts per se, but they do have a couple suits of armor, Bolitarian make, with some pretty decent dents in them and some cuts and things like that. So there are things from the front, but nothing that you could pick out of the pile that's Warforged didn't make.
Okay, yeah, she'll probably just like look everything over and like try to pretend like she's interested but not buying, and just kind of wander around taking everything in.
Okay. And then Eligor, with you being back, Perry, did you want to ask Eligor? I know you were looking for.
I was just gonna get his opinion about the decor in the guy's house and see if he had any ideas what he might like based on what was in the house.
Should ask.
How long are we here? If we're gonna
Well, then it's not a surprise.
If we're playing Animal Crossing right now, I can build furniture.
I can help too, but yeah, that'll take a long time.
Perry, give me an investigation check if you would. Okay. With a 20, you do spot a seller of craft goods at their wagon. You walk up, and there are a couple different pieces of furniture. There's a really nice dark wood, you would guess it's the acacia wood, end table, like something that would go next to your bed. It's got 2 drawers in it, one on top, one on bottom. It's got a really nice finish to it. It's very well shined. It's the same wood type that the gentleman's bed was. They're willing to part with it for 25 gold pieces, 50 if you're using your zebra coins. There is a rocking chair that is very exquisitely made. It's got carved wolf heads where the hands go, like on the armrests. The back of it is extremely intricate. It looks like 2 wolves running in opposite directions. Their tails kind of meet in the middle for where the head goes, and each wolf is looking in a different direction. Originally, he says it's not for sale, but then throws a number out there that if you're willing to part with 100 gold pieces, it would be yours.
Is that 100 zebras or 100?
That would be 100 standard their coins, so like their minted coins, 200 zebras. And besides that,
I just love that we're throwing the random shopping venture on Jim. Like, that's the best thing about being a DM. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
There's a sick kettlebell set for 50 gold, 100 zebra.
I don't know what that is, but I'll take it.
It's like weights.
Yeah, it's like workout weights. It's like free weights.
Kettlebell.
Yeah.
I thought you said kettlebell.
Oh, maybe I did.
How much?
So total.
So I already took off for the end table and for the chair. How much?
Okay, you're buying those.
Oh yeah.
It would be 100 gold pieces for the weight set.
200 zebras.
100 zebras. 50 regular, 100 zebras.
Okay, loaning it all up on the floating disc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got the end table sitting in the rocking chair, and on top of the end table are the weights. You need a little bit of help getting the weights up on the chair, and your friends are able to kind of help stabilize it. But it all is sitting on Tensor's floating disc. It's when you start to move, the rocking chair leans back, but corrects itself, so everything does not come tumbling off.
I have a rope. I can tie the chair down so it doesn't rock off.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Clipper, were you? I might have missed you. Were you looking for anything in particular?
No, I was just trying to see if there's any like can't miss local things that I would want to be aware of.
I would say there is a foldable easel that you spot.
Ooh.
That is good for painting. It's kind of big, like it would fold up though, so it would kind of be like carrying like just two quarterstaffs. So it's not like it's cumbersome. It would probably fit right in the haversack pretty easily, but it appears to be a nice dark wood easel for painting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I will get those painting supplies. That's good. Hey, that right there, I will give you 2 gold pieces for that easel.
The person looks at your crazy-looking human form, and they agree to 3 gold pieces, 6 if you're using your zebra coin.
Oh,
I have 3 distorted gold pieces. I will give
Okay.
them.
Yeah, you could
And
have
I'll
been
just
using those all along, I suppose.
Well, I didn't want it to come back on the guy, so I've been giving them the zebras. But Clipper is going to leave this town, so we'll use the distorted ones on this.
I don't exist. Next
That's
time
true.
I'll be Dipper.
They'll be looking for Jipper with no luck. Okay, yeah. They very, very happy to accept those coins.
All right, thank you. Here's your. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna go paint while I'm hanging out with everybody.
And make sure you keep your 2 coins.
Right.
That was a gift.
Oh, thank you. So, I will use it. I promise.
And
Practice every day.
first thing in the morning. Ralik, anything you would like to look for specifically with your 13? We'll see if it's possible.
Yeah, he's gonna look for something for his mom. Something small to carry with him.
Okay. As per usual, for whatever reason, you managed to stumble across the local jewelry vendor. There is a nice wooden bracelet, like one that you would have to kind of like fold your hand to fit through, kind of thing. I don't know if there's a specific word for that type of jewelry, but it's got some small green encrusted gems all throughout it, maybe 5 or 6 that circle around. It's very pretty. The guy offers to part with it for 5 gold pieces or 10 zebra coins.
Oh yeah, without even any haggling, I'll pay that.
Excellent. Sorry, I just got another request here. So here, let me just. All right. So, cool. Yep. And that was just for secrets. So yeah, that is taken care of. Okay. I think I hit everybody that was looking for anything. Anybody have anything else they want to do, or it's about that time you should be getting back to Yodel. So I would say make any final purchases, then head back to her.
Is there anyone selling flowers, alchemy things that grow from the ground? Special grass?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there are people selling various alchemical instruments and local flora. What are you looking for?
I'm gonna open up the book and I'm gonna be like, adder's tongue.
Okay. The person that you ask is surprised when you bring up the adder's tongue, and they say it's a very rare flower, but most folks who try to grab one keep it for themselves because it can be dangerous wading out into the middle of a river to grab such a thing.
Okay. Any particular place that people have seen?
Yeah, he would suggest that that there is a river that runs. Let me double check my map. Sorry. So there is a river that runs about a day's travel back from where you are that would definitely have the sprouts, but it is back in the other direction. Other than that, you'd probably have to travel south to catch the same river again. There is a river that runs south of Izardul, but you're probably 7 to 10 days travel from that as well. So, if you hoof it, one day you'd be able to make it back to the river if you'd like to take a look for those. And any other plants or anything to look for?
No, I think I'm good with the village excursion.
Eligor, you satisfied?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, totally. All right. Perry, you and the group head back. You show up with the most recognizable thing that leaves Yodel and probably Rorik a little bit confused as you pull up with Tensor's floating disc and all of this furniture. She looks to you and says, "Traveling a little bit heavy, aren't you?"
Oh no, not at all. This isn't for me. And with the help of my unseen servant, we'll start unloading the things into the home.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you're very easily able to unload everything into the home. It's not too heavy. The unseen servant can help you with all of it. I'm assuming the end table will go by its bed.
It probably makes me really strong because the other half of the things I carry is invisible.
Okay. So, you're able to kind of place the furniture. Yodel, her jaw drops seeing you do all of this. She is confused but accepting of it. Once you are all kind of you have everything placed and ready to go, she locks the front door again. She says, "Just wait a second." She kind of looks around, spots a rock, lifts up the rock, puts the key underneath, lowers the rock, and then looks around suspiciously. She doesn't see anybody looking, so then she offers to take you all to see the medicine woman. So now, Yodel leads you through the town. As the sun has now mostly, the nightlife for Uzakraz is really kind of out in force. Many torches are lit. People are moving around from house to house in a much more lively fashion than they would have during the day, which is the same thing you've experienced before. You wind in and out of a few alleyways and streets before coming to, I'll use her as kind of your marker. You come to 2 large bonfires at the base of a winding mesa that spins all around before reaching a large tent on. So it takes you a good 15 minutes or so to kind of circle all the way around once, twice, and you come up to the main door. This large, impressive tent stands a good 30 feet tall. There is a large, red-looking facial mask sitting at the top of the tent. The tent is made out of stretched hide that is painted in many colors. There are depictions of animal life on the canvas of the tent. Though you spot a few animals that you guys haven't seen yet, but they're in your book. They're drawn on the side of the side of the tent. There's a large, intricate rug that leads out from the main entrance. You have reached the hut or tent of the naturalist Galasha Grat. Let me change the music, change the map.
Fight music incoming.
Dun, dun, dun. So Yodel leads you all up to this rug, and as you kind of stand at the tent looking at each other, she will turn to regard all of you and say, as I mentioned earlier, this is as far as I go. I can wait out here, but again, I advise you to be truthful. Bring up everything you can think of, symptoms, what this creature looked like, how it smelled. It's likely going to be a very dangerous undertaking to get this disease cured, so let's make sure that none of it none of it fails due to faulty information, yes?
Yes. Well, you're just saying be straightforward.
Yes.
Got it.
Oh yeah, we
Yep.
wouldn't lie. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
She nods. She opens the flap to the tent. The inside of this tent smells of roots and smoke. Candles burn all through the tent, and wisps of incense dance in the darkness. Facing away from you is a figure hunched over a table. You hear the trademark sounds of stone on stone grinding away at some sort of crunchy substance. Ralik, your divine sense does ping somewhere off in the darkness. It is not the person standing in front of you. You would recognize that whatever is beyond you, whatever it is you cannot see, is Fae.
Okay. Yeah, Relic then will end up. He will go in, but he's going to be distracted by trying to figure out what that presence is.
Cool. Yeah, so she's not facing you. She seems to be in the middle of something. What would you guys like?
I'm not going first. I have to.
Oh yeah, Relic will go in first.
I have to reapply my facial cream.
I'll go in after Alec.
The honesty, though, Clipper. The honesty.
I like my charade.
I don't know if I speak her language, so wait.
Yeah, Tia will go in after people who can speak Orcish.
Okay. Rorik, Eligor, you guys heading out front. Perry, you want to do your comprehend languages again?
Yep.
Eventually, she picks up on the footsteps coming from behind her, and she turns around. She's younger than you would have expected. She's wearing fine white and brown robe. Her hair is tied into dozens of different dreadlocks. They're pulled over top and behind her head with a crown made of brown wood and bone. She regards the party. Kind of one at a time, she turns, looking at you all, and says, step closer and into the light.
I step closer.
Forward with everybody,
Yep.
assumedly.
I step backwards.
Okay.
I'm-
We're doing a square dance. Now clap 3 times.
There you go. Slide to
You
the left.
you said it was in common. She said that.
That would have been in Orcish. So, unless is there one of you that wants to volunteer as like the translator?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Excellent. Very much appreciated. As you all step into the light, anybody that's proficient in medicine, if I can just get you to make a medicine check. Okay. Tia, you notice that even though this person told you to step into the light, when you get close enough to be able to look into her eyes, there are 2 white cataracts that have completely clouded over her eyes. As best as you can tell, this person is medically blind.
Okay. And you said she didn't seem very old?
She does not seem old.
Huh. She probably won't say anything about it.
She looks at you all and says, "Against my better judgment, I've taken a meeting from my sister's request, but I don't want to hold that against you. How can I help you?"
We've been afflicted with some parasites that if we don't get cured will form into a fully living creature and pop out of our chest.
We don't want that to happen.
That sounded honest. I couldn't understand it, but it sounded very straightforward.
She nods. "Well, tell me everything you can about this creature. It's this thing that infected you. What did it do? What did it look like? Where did you run into such a thing?"
It was a giant green frog-looking thing, and we encountered it in the swamp up
North in the swamp. She nods. She reaches for a staff nearby that's leaning against the table where she was working. She points it at Clipper. Clipper, your disguise self spell fades immediately.
Yeah, all the cream just kind of like slides off.
Just
I'm like,
real slow cream discharge of your disguise self spell. You now just standing as a Warforged in front of her, and she says, I need you to go over to the mantle.
Okay.
There are dried leaves in a blue satchel. Retrieve them, the aromatic sticks from the red jar, and the alcohol in the clear decanter. Go.
Okay, I'm familiar with this. Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know if she turned Jipper into some kind of machine. Okay,
I've been cursed.
So after you gather them, she tells you to boil them in the pot over the. There is a large bowl of water nearby that you can use as well.
All right, I'm working.
Okay, as you kind of work on the alchemical solution, she kind of regards the rest of the party again down the line. She stops at Perry, and she points the staff at him, and she says, "Your disguise isn't so much functional as personal, is it not?"
Oh. I'm sorry, I meant no disrespect. It's just second nature at this point. And Perry will drop his illusion on himself. And he's very dirty. And his teeth are like crooked and stained. And he's got like 5 o'clock shadow. His clothes are moth-bitten and dusty and much less vibrantly colored than they normally are. He smells a little bit.
Oh. You've become a hobo.
Now that we're all working on an even footing. From the darkness behind her, a crow swoops from a perch on high and lands on the table. Ralik, the divine sense, pings again as this creature lands on the table next to her and kind of just hops around once or twice looking in your direction. She takes a moment and waits for Clipper to finish his task and says, "Here, pour it into this goblet."
Okay. It's supposed to be, 70 Celsius roughly, right? Is this good? Okay.
She just basically takes it from you after you hand it to her, and She takes a long sip out of it, enjoys it. She says, just needed some tea.
Oh, good. Glad it. I measured things very carefully for you.
Those of you who are not honest with me, you will have to work to regain my trust. You, with the disguise, make a decent cup of tea.
That's good.
So we'll wash the board for the moment. But this problem you have is not solved by tea. And unfortunately, I believe the cure you are looking for is going to be too difficult to retrieve. I don't believe you capable of acquiring everything you would need. I'm sorry.
Please tell us what we need. We're very resourceful.
We don't really have much of a choice, and that's good motivation.
Oh, yeah, resourceful and motivated.
And desperate. Don't forget desperate.
Let's get persuasion checks from those of you.
I don't want to be alone in this world.
I'm going to use my point.
Okay, yeah, you can use your point.
Oh shit, I forgot. I'm going to do that too.
Okay, go ahead and use your hero point if you'd like.
Was this for everyone?
Anybody that would like to make the roll can make the roll. Okay. Okay. Yeah, after a long moment, she sighed. I suppose it doesn't matter if I send you to get yourselves killed, considering this creature has already sentenced you to death. Fine. The cure you'll need is made of 2 parts. The first part comes from a creature you can find anywhere in the plains, if you know where to look. There are creatures that live not in the foothills, but in their own hills. My people have taken to calling them burrowers. Bug-like creatures, they vary in size. Ferocious, but mostly keep to themselves. Unfortunately for you, you need something they have. And you need something that not all of them carry. What you need is poison from a burrower queen. These creatures are large, they are reclusive, and incredibly deadly. I've never known anyone to manage to kill one. If you are serious about trying to find this cure, that is your first task. You'll need to find a burrower nest, kill a queen. In the queen's tail, there is a large poison sac. Bring the poison sac back. I can send you on your next task.
And out of curiosity, if we just sever the tail and bring the tail back, would you be able to extract the poison?
Yes, if you're not quite confident in the anatomical department, I could probably manage.
Just keeping my options open.
Can you tell us anything about how we might find one of these nests? Like what we've seen we've seen the little mounds and everything, but what differentiates the queen's environment from the others? Like, just does she favor certain terrain or certain conditions that we can keep an eye out for?
If you've seen the burrowers, then you know what a burrower nest is, but you shouldn't have to go far. Leave the road far enough, and you'll find another nest. Every nest has a queen, but the queens themselves, from what I understand, are very reclusive. This is a question for my sister. I've never hunted the creatures. I know what they're capable of. I understand how their body chemicals work. Her nose kind of turns up. But hunting, tracking, the creature's behaviors are not something I can speak to.
And what of the second ingredient? It might be more beneficial for us if we tackle both at the same time rather than coming back here. Less time wasted, better for most of us involved.
If I'm being honest, I'm not sure what is going to be strong enough. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research of my own. Complete this first task, and by the time you return, hopefully, I will have found something that you can combine with this to help. But this cure that might work, this poison, is dangerous. What we're going to essentially do is dilute this poison and administer it to you. We need something that can dilute such a thing by a serious degree. You'll all need multiple doses, and if I'm correct, you'll be incapacitated for weeks at a time while taking this. This is not going to be an easy trek. If you want to be efficient and find a second thing to look for, you'll need a safe place to stay while you take this medicine. I can help you formulate the medicine, but I cannot provide you with a safe place to stay. You need somewhere that your rest will go undisturbed. And if I'm being honest, somewhere that you can hide from the watchful eyes that pursue you.
That shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Good. Then we are done.
Thank you for the time, and we shall return with the venom, and hopefully by then we'll be able to go on our second leg of this misadventure.
I don't expect any of you will make it back, but if you do, yes, bring me the creature's tail, bring me its gland, whatever you might need. Speak with my sister, she can help you track these creatures, and I suppose good luck.
Don't worry. This isn't the first time I've cheated death.
She taps her staff. Perry, your illusion returns. Clipper, you return to Jipper.
Okay.
But any of you that look at Jipper, you see that his eyes are now crossed and he's got a unibrow.
What are you looking at me like that for? What happened?
You have character now.
Oh, does that mean does my hair different? I can't see it.
The
Here,
caterpillar.
let me
on your-
fix your eyes and just start pulling the eyes apart.
Yeah, your hand goes right through the illusion, and you just kind of like jab at Clipper's.
Ow, ow.
Oh, that causes you pain.
I could feel things. I have feelings too.
Here, let me try it with the knife.
No. I told you I have feelings. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I didn't think robots had feelings.
Yes. You have to be able to feel things, or else you just run into fire and get shot all the time. I just feel less pain than other people.
I poke him with the sword.
Okay, yeah, see, that hurts. It's just, like, less. It's just...
All right, we will say that you all are bid to leave unless anybody would like to stay and ask any questions. She kind of stands expectantly towards you all as you begin to filter out. I'll let you decide if you're leaving or what you're going to do.
Yeah, Relic has no reason to stay.
I think, yeah, we go give a report to Ilmar? Nope, that's not her name.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Amber?
No?
Jessica.
Close.
That's the lie.
As you all come out of the tent, Yodel is standing there kind of expectantly.
Okay.
She looks in your direction and says, so how did it go? All good? Cured up?
We had to find a
Why the
queen.
two of you aren't close.
Sorry, let's do that one at a time. What did everybody say?
Oh, we just have to find the queen.
Okay. And Tia?
Uh,
I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm sorry. Perry, did you say something specific?
I just said I can see why the two of you aren't close. And he's just gonna dust himself off.
She used to have a sense of humor, but you know, these
I
kind of
think she still does have a sense of humor.
yeah, she made Clipper
Clipper
made him tea.
unibrow.
she did what?
I made her tea.
Jipper? Why are your eyes crossed? What happened to your forehead?
I get migraines.
Make a deception check.
So you said that, and I thought you were gonna say like, you get your grains from the field or something. I was so
All
confused.
right. She goes, uh-huh. Is this an illusion?
It's not an illusion.
This is the Warforged.
Keep your voice down.
There's no one else here.
We don't know that.
Is that going to be a problem here? Are we safe to walk around with him being himself?
No, definitely keep him like this.
Even with the eyes and the
What?
unibrow.
What is going on? What do you mean my eye? Can
You
someone
were
find me a
right,
mirror?
It makes it a little more rude,
They're
honestly.
too close to your nose.
Well, that's you all look the same except you. They all look the
You're
same.
cross-eyed, Clipper. You're
Yeah, I'm
cross-eyed
surprised-
and you have a unibrow.
I'm surprised this isn't like changing your depth perception.
It's because it's not real. It's just the cream creates a reflective coating that creates an overlayer. It's like, anyway.
I see.
You said you
I
needed.
thought the
to,
cream wasn't safe for your eye.
You said you needed to find a
Apparently, it's not.
a queen. Is it?
Yeah, the Burrower Queen.
Well, you found her. Yodel says as she like flicks her hair out of her face.
Yes.
Oh. Shit. What do you need from a Burrower Queen?
The venom from the tail. If we cannot extract the venom, we have to bring the entire tail.
Oh. She takes a minute. This is going to be hard. Follow me. She winds down the hill, heading back towards Zabub's place. She asks if you have everything you need. Did anybody leave anything? Is everybody good to go?
Is there anything special you would recommend we have?
Big swords.
I'm actually not quite
do I-
good with big swords. Do better without them, really.
Yeah.
Ammunition, magic, fire, but not a lot of fire. Maybe it.
Fire particularly effective.
Let's take a walk.
Okay.
I'd rather not have this discussion here.
All right. Are we gonna be encountering these things like now? Is it close by?
Zabub pops his head out of his hut. Yo!
Oh,
You guys left some stuff in my house!
You didn't tell me you had a puka shell necklace
Everybody
on.
have their things?
What did you say, Perry?
I just was telling everybody to check their things, make sure that everybody had all of their things.
Yeah,
Well, there's-
I have all my stuff.
Well, there's like there's this chair, there's a really rad table, and like I'm almost done using the weights. If you don't mind, like if you could wait like 20 minutes, I can finish up with the weights, and then you can take them too.
Oh, no, those aren't our things. Those are your things.
Are they? You
They
see him
are.
stop for a minute. When did I get those? I don't remember this chair at all. Okay. Well, my bad then. I didn't realize that that I had all this stuff.
Bro, I didn't know you work out too.
Yeah. You want to come in and get one in real quick?
If I have to, sure.
There's also these two vests. They're real nice. They look like they would fit me, and I guess that means they're yours. And he looks at Alex.
Oh, actually, Tia made those for you.
For me?
Yeah, so thank you for letting us sleep in your house.
Wow. Rad.
Yeah, it's something you do when you make friends.
Friends.
Wait.
Cool.
Clipper, then why did nobody ever make me a shirt?
Would you like a shirt? Oh, I can make you a shirt.
Well,
Yeah, do you want one?
I'd be happy to make you a shirt.
I don't want one, but maybe it would have been nice to be offered one. If that's
Here,
what you
green
do
guy,
when you
they
make
made me
friends.
too. You can have one.
Well, we didn't.
Eventually, like
Here, Vol, wait, here. You can have my cloak. But you want this?
Oh my god,
Oh,
that would
well-
look so good with your hair. So good.
Well, if you think so.
Yeah, here. I haven't been using it. I've been billowing it. I've been too busy computing.
yeah, I'll wear the cloak then. But the shirt's
Like, I don't need a shirt. Maybe it would have been nice to be asked.
Well, I didn't ask you because I don't like you.
Oh, what? I don't really know who you are.
Exactly.
Got him.
Just kidding, Rorik. But yeah, I wear the cloak if you're not using a clipper.
Yeah, that's fine. I put a pouch in there for Answer to sit in. But I mean, he probably won't sit in there while you're wearing it.
You can have it back.
Nope, it's fine. He won't be in there. I promise.
As long as you can guarantee it.
Mostly.
Oh, if I see that thing on the cloak, I'm throwing it away.
So, Vol, you are now in possession of a cloak of billowing. As a bonus action, you can make it appear as though the wind is billowing and your cloak moves as such.
There's so many times that I have to waste my bonus action that I will put to good use.
There you go. Yodel says to Zabub, they bought you the furniture as a thank you for the use of your house, so even though you owe me and I should take it, I have no way of carrying it back to my home, so you could keep it.
Don't think I wasn't planning on doing something for you as well, Yodel. You've been very helpful as well.
She smiles in your direction. It's just fun to tease him. He smiles back. Okay, well, it was cool meeting all of you. Friends.
It was great staying in your place.
Yeah, let me know if you guys want to, grab a drink sometime. I know a really cool place. And he, looks to
Is it right over there?
That's the one
place.
Totally. I know a guy.
I've been there.
Yeah.
The bartender is excellent. Very, very good service.
Yeah, she's real cool.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, thanks.
Yeah, he goes back inside. The wooden door closes. Yoda kind of smiles and says, well, one good last laugh before we die.
I have no intention of dying.
Well, then, you better find another way to cure this thing, then. And she begins to head off towards the gate. We'll say for expediency's sake, you have time to retrieve the cart and Annabelle if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll get Annabelle. Do we want the cart? I guess we'll get the card.
Yeah. I really wish Cybermule were here.
Yeah, that whatever happened to Cybermule?
We cut back to Cybermule, who's still chewing the same piece of hay.
Yeah,
Did we just Cybermule behind one day?
yeah, he's still in the Trident, I think.
What do you think his life is like now?
We did like a shortcut where he
Safe.
like literally mule kicked somebody with his hydraulic legs, and they went flying through a.
Oh, Cybermule. You always were a joker.
Yeah, that guy's probably super dead. So obviously the picture doesn't quite fit because it is nighttime, but you all leave the city and kind of head out to the plains. Yodel takes a moment to kind of pause in the path, and she kind of looks north and looks south and makes a decision and turns to her left, heading north, far from the path. As you're traveling, what I would like you guys to do is make survival checks for me. Now, you're following Yodel. She's leading you where you want to go. But what I'm going to do is essentially I'm going to gate the information she can give you based on the results of your survival checks. So you're kind of rolling her ability to give you useful information about these creatures.
Is this a group check, everybody?
Everybody can roll.
I don't even know if it's worth it, but
Yeah, might as well.
I don't know what surviving is.
whoa, hey there.
Nice way
Look at me.
Inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah, just use that shit.
Fine.
All right, let's take a look at my notes. All right. Many of you, Tia, Perry, Eligor, Vol, Clipper, you guys unlocked the maximum level of knowledge that Yodel is able to give you. So what we'll do is we should be able to push this to everybody. You should have just got a handout that popped up, hopefully. Did everybody get that handout? Did it pop up on your screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll kind of run through it here real quick, but it is here under your journal, under player resources, under party handouts. Or no. I'm sorry, it's under handouts. I should consolidate those. But right now it's under party resources, handouts. The chance for a cure. The Burrower Queen carries the most potent form of toxin known to the naturalists of the Irawaki Plains. Some theorized if distilled into an effective enough degree, it could be used as a cleansing agent, killing diseases and poisons that traditional medicine and basic magic have been unable to cure. There is, of course, only one problem. The poison is carried in the tail of a Burrower Queen, an incredibly dangerous foe. There are some other tips that Yodel is able to give you about burrowers that you guys have unlocked with your survival check. Specifically, there is a hierarchy to burrowers. There are smaller creatures, hatchlings, and workers that are mostly seen above ground. There are larger creatures called warriors that tend to the hive should it come under duress. And there are two very useful concoctions that you can make using the body parts of these creatures. Specifically, you can make a burrower antitoxin, which by killing the hatchlings and workers, you can use the glands on their head to mute sensitivity to adrenaline. Essentially, you would be able to make an antitoxin that would give you advantage on any saving throw against their pheromone attack for 1 hour. There's also an oil that you can make. Anybody with an alchemist tool or herbalist kit can prepare an oil from the pheromone gland of a warrior. You would first have to extract the gland, obviously. The oil's pretty useful, but essentially what you could do with that oil is you could apply it to a 20-foot square of ground and have it take one of the two effects listed. You could either make that area appear as a threat, so no burrowers will cross in without passing an intelligence saving throw, or they will rush to the area thinking that there is food there. The things that you unlocked, which I will then copy into the handout, as well as their DC, just to prove I'm not lying. So I've refreshed the handout. Burrowers can see in the light, in the dark, and can detect movement within a certain radius without either. Hatchlings are weak to fire damage, but using it will burn off their underdeveloped receptors, making them useless, so you can't then use it to make the antitoxin. So the fire damage is definitely effective, but will also kind of render them useless. Workers have hardened receptors. They are not weak to fire damage as a result, and if you use fire damage, it will not destroy the receptors. When attacked, hatchlings and workers release a pheromone calling for aid from nearby burrowers. When enough distress pheromone is detected, a warrior will come to investigate and defend the hive. Finally, it is said that a burrower queen is likely blind due to the reclusive underground nature. Yodel explains that in character over the course of this trip. I figured that was easier than me trying to have her tell you all and then you keep note. That handout is available for you to plan how you would like to do this. As Yodel reaches the area that she had in mind, she stops, she kind of scans the horizon in the dark, and then turns towards all of you and says, this is the closest hive I could think of. They all have queens. My suggestion would be killing enough of them, gathering up to make the oils and the antitoxins in whatever method you would, and then finding a way to get underground to the queen without getting overrun and dying. That's the part I'm not super sure on.
Well, I mean, I think we're going to have to survey the area stealthily and look for additional entrances, which ones have the most foot traffic, etc.
Okay.
These are giant termites.
They are essentially giant termites. I will bring you guys over to the map.
All right.
And you can drag out anywhere. I mean, obviously the whole map is lit up because originally this was daytime, but drag out to the southern end of the map. Anywhere you would like to be. Nobody needs stealth for this part. You're all just landing on the map here, so they're not actively looking for it. And you have been told for the most part they are... they pretty much leave you alone if you leave them alone. Pretty much.
I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself preemptively.
Okay. Rallick, Eligor, Rorik, y'all are getting aided. And this is not temp HP. This is actual, like, extra HP, right?
Yes, that's right.
Nice.
And we have the daily inspiration, right? I don't have to deploy the goo cannon.
All right, yeah, 5 hit, rather 9 hit points.
Okay.
Okay. And we will drag out your new friend.
And I've probably used 2 level 1 spell slots for stupid disguises.
Okay. So I think we've got... I'm just going to move some of this around. Okay.
Quick question though, Jim, for do I have for the thing that I pinged you, do I have that? Is that medium armor for that Hydra hide?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Let me double check it.
Because it kind of matters for combat.
So you were not in a position to receive any sort of mail for the second part, but the first part it is a so it was just a breastplate, so medium breastplate armor, but it costs half of what it would cost you to buy breastplate armor outright.
Okay.
Because you had the bones to make it, so it is just standard breastplate.
Got it.
Excellent. Okay. Yodel kind of looks towards you guys expectantly. What we'll probably do here, right? We're going to let you guys do anything you want to do, any recon, any sort of information gathering, questions that you want to ask. If you choose to pick a fight, we'll then put a pin in it and pick it up next session, because I'm not going to drag this into the deep hours of the night, because it could take a while. So I will turn it over to you guys. What would you like to do? Before you, I guess I should describe the scene. Obviously, it's dark out now, as opposed to... But the large mounds of dirt that you had spotted from the road previously jut up from several different directions, like unnaturally made foothills. Between several of the mounds, you're able to spot these small burrower creatures. They appear to be large bugs, maybe the size of like big dogs, essentially. Following behind many of those are a much softer, smaller looking version of the bug. They, from what you can tell, just kind of appear to be following certain ones around. They're moving in kind of a weird pattern. It's hard to tell more without kind of looking into it.
Well, it seems like we should work from small up to large.
Well, I imagine they'll swarm us once we start attacking them. Maybe we should try and wait for one to get separated and catch it.
Do you think we can pick one off like that, Rowlick, and then maybe Eligor, since he's good with herbs, can make a concoction like that pheromone thing, and we can make a defensive position out here and lure them into it. When we expanded our homes in the swamp, you don't extend yourself into the enemy's lair, you draw them to you.
That makes sense. Some sort of diversion to gather them in one place, and then boom.
Mm-hmm.
We'd rather fight on our terms than theirs.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, but I think we're gonna end up having to go in to get the queen.
Well, we will, but if we can get as
Right.
many taken care of out here in the open before we're all squished in.
Yeah,
Walking
yeah.
by one and
And
tumbling.
The more oils we can make before we go in, probably the better.
Yeah, so if we start with the smaller ones, then we can protect ourselves. It seems like we can protect ourselves from the most basic of attacks, and then as we continue to kill more, we can get more materials for Eligor to make more substantive stuff that will keep the babies away when we try to attack the mama.
If you think so.
If
Yeah, that
we-
seems like a good plan.
If we get into a pinch, I can cast the hut, and they won't be able to get in for 8 hours. By then, they may clear out. Just
Does it work in every direction?
asymmetrical. Does what?
Does the hut work in every direction?
What do you mean?
Can it stop something coming from underground?
I believe so. It's
That's a good question.
Perry, how long does it take to make your hut?
Ooh, yeah, it does take even if I cast it as quickly as I can, it still will take a minute. So maybe that's not. I thought maybe I could do it faster than that, but now that I think about it, it will take a minute.
Even still, though, if we can...
But you know how I made the interdimensional space for the cupboards? I could do that, but we'd have to climb to it, I think.
I was thinking if we can make the hut as close as we can get. Eligor's good at tackling things. What if we drug one into the hut to separate it so it couldn't call out others? Maybe, I don't know if there's anything you can learn from them, Tia. what they can see or smell if we can sneak by them. Maybe you can make one into a boat that we can ride underground.
An underground boat? That's very intriguing.
Bug boat.
Out of character, Eligor can't do any of that anymore. Just FYI to everyone, to essentially just take everything that you saw from like the entire beginning of the game and remove it from your. It doesn't exist.
That was armor Eligor. This is no armor Eligor now.
Respect.
Pretty much.
It also
Mercer changed the entire class, so I'm like,
yeah.
Let's go.
The options were to either play the old one or switch to the new one. So,
somebody has herbalism or alchemism, right?
it's still the. I still have it. Just he doesn't have the strength anymore.
That's hilarious because I could have seen what he did with the gunslinger too, I guess. Whoopsie.
So Eligor, real quick too. I think right now it says you have 17 temp HP, which I don't know.
Don't we have the command stuff? Don't we have the
You should have
from the
plus
we have the
5
aid, and then we
maximum.
have the
and plus 9 temp HP. So you might just need to adjust. I think you're just a little bit high.
So
I think
you're
like,
yeah, your max. You might not want to tweak that if you can't remember what it is. I don't know how you remember it, but just there's probably a mod you can add in, like an global HP modifier.
I just put my hit point minus what I'm at.
It'd be
You can
84
Probably
then?
just put hit point plus. And yeah, I think there is a universal.
How many hit points you have?
I think 85 is where you'd be.
Oh, I'm so squishy.
You're super squishy.
Wow.
I mean, I only have 38 hit points.
Yeah, I have. at
normally
least
have
38 hit
39.
points, too.
Oh shit! I normally have 47. I don't feel so squishy anymore.
Oh, all of you have such fleshy bodies.
Thank you.
Yoda would chime in and say, if your plan is to attack them, I would not recommend trying to separate them. The way that they are linked, the pheromone, the moment you spring on one of these things, you're going to alert all of them. That's just the way these work.
But what if we move one of them to an extra dimensional space?
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. It's a little outside of my wheelhouse.
Well, it's just, you have like a dimension and then you have extra dimension and you go there instead of just the regular dimension that you have. Extra dimensional.
You see Yodel smile and nod in a way that seems very reminiscent of your friend Ra.
So very
You
intelligently.
remind me a lot of my friend Ralik, He's right over there. Doesn't he have a nice smile?
Hi.
Yes, he does. Hi. I don't know what an extra dimensional space is, but here, let me show you. She pulls out a heavy crossbow and kind of like aims it towards one of the burrowers, and then at the last second kind of changes her aim and fires right next to it. The heavy crossbow bolt whips through the air, smashes into the ground next to the burrower, causing it to have to kind of move when the ground next to it sort of erupts. And it like chitters, it looks back towards the ground, and within seconds, there's half a dozen burrowers on their way to that location. They stop.
Oh, this is Tremors. Okay.
They circle around. They kind of pick at the bolt for a moment, and then they resume. They go about doing what they were doing.
Oh,
Second phase graboids. Heck yeah.
Rorik, how much dirt can you?
I can move a 5-foot cube.
It's not as much dirt as I hoped. I was thinking if we made a pit and we put a bunch of spikes in it and lured one
Well,
into it.
if you give me like a couple hours, I mean, I can make a pit to hell.
I don't think we're necessarily in a huge rush. I try not to rush anything, especially not this important, but if you dug a pit and we put spikes in it, and Perry, you're good at making things. He tries to tenderly touch on the subject, like to making things look like they aren't actually. Maybe you could put a fake cover on the pit to make it look like the ground is there.
Well, that is an excellent idea, but I believe that hallucinatory terrain is a 7th level spell, and I can only cast 3rd level spells.
I don't know what that means. Is that a height thing?
It's a little bit like a height thing, yeah. Except it's like as you like imagine instead of growing taller, you grow your magic grows taller instead, and my magic is still quite short like me.
Interesting. Much like my player, I only grow wider.
Wow.
Breaking the 4th wall.
He's not. What he's saying. He's not a grand wizard. He's just a tiny wizard.
Exactly. I am a tiny wizard. And I really only I really only attended the academy for the minimum number of years, and then I lost a lot of time out on other endeavors, and I'm really probably a little behind where I'd like to be by this age, but such is life.
Oh, well, it was just a suggestion. It just seems like from what Yordle and her sister suggest that we just can't take them head on.
Here's what I can do. I'm going to cast a minor illusion that looks a lot like Vol's, or not Vol's, Rorik's Earth shape. 5-foot cube.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You are able to create what is essentially like an illusory dirt wall.
Yeah, see? You can do that.
If we put that, I mean, do they burrow through a tunnel? If you put that at the edge of their tunnel, maybe they could go through it and into a pit.
Since they burrow, I don't know what much a pit will do.
One with spikes at the bottom. I mean, I don't. It's just an idea.
Well, maybe I could get him to chase me and Annabelle, and we jump over the pit.
Ooh, or Brand, because he can fly.
Ralik, speaking of that, you can metaphorically fly now too.
And Vol takes out a bitten griddle that he bought you and hands it to you. It says,
well, this is supposed to be for later, but I guess now good a time as any. It's just to say sorry for hurting you before. I didn't mean it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, what you receive is a very fine leather bit and bridle that Will purchased in the market.
I think you could jump anything with that, I bet.
I bet so. I bet Annabelle will like it.
I hope so. She looks at me strange sometimes, but it's for her too to say I know we think different, but I still like her. It's no hard feelings.
Yeah, she just gets grumpy. I'm sure she likes you.
I'm happy to hear that. But back to the plan. Do you think that would work?
Yeah, I'm sure I could get him to chase me, and and whether they, I can't see why they wouldn't fall into the pit then. I don't know how much it'll hurt them. They'll be able to get out unless the spikes get them.
Well, we could get up high and then fire. If we could see into the pit, we could fire ranged attacks into it.
When they
Good
chased that like stick that you threw, did they immediately disperse after they like investigated that area?
Yeah, pretty much the one that had been threatened stopped and immediately started taking a look at it. And then a few seconds later, a bunch appeared. They stopped, checked on it, checked around it, and then they dispersed. I'd say the whole thing took 20 seconds.
Unlike Perry's magic, I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference, but my, devices can have perpetual sound or something like that comes out. Doesn't require me to focus on it, but it's a little different. It's the same thing. It just would scream. Like a screaming grenade.
How much do these things weigh? The small ones.
Weigh? That's hard to say. Give me a nature check, maybe?
Like 20 kilograms.
Here's the thing. It's hard to tell because the density is something you really can't calculate, right? Like these things are, some of them look squishy and probably are not as dense. The burrowers that don't look as squishy are probably more dense. You'd guess that the skinny little ones are lighter than the little ones that are a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Would the
I have a
little ones
question
weigh-
for the group. Hear me out on this. But technically, Brand is an apex predator. You know, he doesn't look like it, but he's a killer. And what we could do is we could have Brand swoop in, pick up one of the little guys, and drop them from a very high height.
Or could he just like bring us one?
I mean, yeah, but do we want it alive or we want it dead?
I don't know. I mean,
If we
alive
had
gives us both options.
If we had it alive, we test and see if it's sensitive to any noises or smells that we could use to lure them elsewhere.
I could make one of them deaf. Which probably would be good for like the queen or something, but I don't know about these little ones.
I don't know. So I think that might be a good plan to go with, to have Brand swoop in, take one of them while we already set up our pit plan in the meantime in case this goes south.
Yeah, that
And
sounds good.
have I think Relic volunteered himself to lead them into a trap, so we set up this trap, see if my plan works, and if it doesn't, then we send in the cavalry.
But what's the cavalry?
Well, I mean, we have a guy on horseback.
Relic is, yeah, but he's like running away. What are? Oh, I'm confused.
I guess they send me back, yeah.
Oh.
Not to sound like a yellow-bellied toad, but maybe we leave Perry's hut up, and as close as we can get, worst comes to worst, we go in the hut and shut the door. They seem to disperse quickly when nothing's around. It'll
like
give
that
us a
idea.
second chance if we mess up.
Or we can go out fighting.
It may come to that, but why not be careful just in case?
I think it's a good idea to set that hut up in case they start swarming us. I mean, if you can.
Yeah, of course I can.
All right.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Most of what I can do is not gonna be very good against these things. So there's that. But I can make a hut.
Well, what if
What can you do? Just as a question.
Well,
Maybe we can do something.
I can. I imagine you just want the list of things I can do that affect them.
Yeah. Maybe we can work around that.
Well, I can make an area of the ground slippery, as you've all seen me do before. I imagine that won't be as effective against them as it would be on a creature with less legs. I can. They're probably not smart enough to make them laugh hilariously. Let's see. They're blind, so disorienting them with a flash of color probably won't do much. Give me one sec.
Isn't it just the queen that's blind?
I would imagine
sounds
they
right.
all are.
That is what you have in your handout, I believe.
It's
And
just
it's best to know it's only a rumor. Due to their reclusive nature and the fact that they're never seen above ground, it's postulated that they would have to be blind because they probably don't have the ability, they probably don't have the receptors necessary.
They probably operate a lot like bats. They're probably more attuned with like vibrations and things like that. I can deal psychic damage to them if they are not good at fending off that sort of thing. I could deafen them. I could deal more psychic damage to them. And I think this one has a secondary effect. Oh, and then I can also know where they are if I use that one. And that's about it.
I did send you one clarification there if you want to check it in Discord there about just as you guys were talking about the spells. I figured it makes sense for me to look that up.
The hut is impenetrable. I also have that in case of emergencies, in a much quicker burst of speed, I can create that extra dimensional space in an area like at 30 feet above us or something like that, but we have to climb a rope up to it. But that's another place that we could head out. I don't know how well some of us would do with that, and I'm gonna look at Vol as I say that. Other than that, yeah, it basically looks like a lot of psychic damage is what I can do. A lot of my utility isn't gonna be effective against them.
Well, if you make the sides of the pit slippery, it would be harder for them to get out, right?
Maybe.
Or
Possible.
in front of the pit, so if any try to stop, they fall
Oh,
in.
they'll comically slip and slide into each other.
They just slide right in and then I can use minor illusion to make silly sounds as they whoop.
Oh, yes.
I think you have a lot of good things you can do. It's just we don't know what will hurt them. I mean, what do we?
I just can't do like the crowd control type stuff that I normally do. I can really kind of just do damage.
Yeah, I forgot. Can you do what's it called? Hypnotic pattern?
Nope.
Hey, wait! I am good at climbing.
Are you?
Really?
A little slow on the uptake, as always.
I mean, so and I've made a sonic grenade, but I only have one right now. I have shatter.
We should hold on to that for a little.
Okay.
I mean, she said they don't bother us if we don't bother them. How close do you think we could get to a burrow to try to dig a hole and do all of this? I mean,
Well, I imagine though, if we we're gonna have to deal with I think all of them, because if you hurt one of them, they all come, right? So even if we use this pit idea, they're just gonna all swarm us.
well, I mean, if you start doing that, you don't have to. I mean, if we can buy a minute for you to put up the hut and for us to get prepared without hurting any of them, will they not bother us?
You
I
mean
would-
like after we killed the queen?
I've seen these things rip through patrols in my day, so if I could perhaps inspect this hut that you're talking about, it would certainly do a lot to ease my mind.
Oh, the hut is entirely impenetrable. It's quite magnificent. I'm gonna need 11 minutes.
Yodel kind of shrugs. Take all the time you need.
And I'm gonna need some music. Thank you, Clipper.
Yodel pulls out a very small, kind of like handheld harp and kind of plucks away at it.
Oh, that's quite nice.
Yeah, let's see if it is nice. She's got low charisma. This should be fun. It's awful. It's the worst fucking thing you've ever heard.
On second thought, I don't think I need the music. I thought maybe we could get this like cool montage type thing going on, but I just don't think that the harp is the right instrument for that.
She swears in a language you don't understand and says, I've been practicing for years and I just never get better.
Oh, it was lovely. It just wasn't the right type of music for a epic montage is all. I have shoes that make me good at lying.
Go ahead and roll deception. She's gonna check. Bullshit. I suck.
You do.
Also, I hope you said I have shoes that make me good at lying, like out loud, as Perry.
That's
Oh.
so I rolled with disadvantage because of that, and that's where that one came from.
Ah. Yeah, she looks at Vol and says, I know, I know. I bought it at a fair and I just never...
Look, you're good at other things. Not everybody can be the best fisherman at the pond. With
Maybe-
everything.
Maybe I could help you learn. I haven't played the harp before, but I think I knew someone who played a little bit of. I've heard the harp before. Maybe I can teach you.
Yeah, any tips you have would be great. And I do think I could kick your ass in a fishing contest, but I guess we'll save that for another time.
We survive this, get the creatures out of us, and we can fish and play harps all we want.
You know who would have loved that is Callie.
Who?
You
Uh,
weren't here.
Yeah, I don't know that name.
Me either.
You know, Relic, who would really love that?
Huh?
Callie would love that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know if we accomplished anything, but
Yeah, we'll say for the for the sake of getting everything wrapped up here, Perry, you have built your tiny hut. It is, we'll put it on the map wherever you would like it to be. Rorik, you have enough time to build any sort of pit that you'd like to build, while Perry takes the time to... It's going to take 11 minutes here, and a cantrip takes 6 seconds to cast. So whatever type of pit you want to do with mold earth, you can go through and do that as well. We'll also put that here on the map at whatever location you guys want. I would suggest maybe in the Discord figuring out what the general plan is so that we can then engage with this at whatever level you would like to. How's everybody feel about next week?
Yeah. Next week
Absolutely.
is always a good week. I
Cool.
think
Okay.
I'll have to maybe do a write-up this time because I don't know. I don't have all my spells. We don't have a fireball.
There is no ball of fire that I'm aware of, but
You need to just have some spell books fall off the truck, and that way, like, Perry can just be like, well, I wasn't gonna learn these, but here we go.
oh, now I can't help it.
There was a list of spells from a spell book we got before that I just never actually did copy into my spell book until Jim finally was like, okay, seriously. And then I put them
I looked at the party inventory and I was like, you have all these spells and scrolls that you never copied. Do you want to take care of that? It was like, yeah, let's do it.
Oops.
But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out. We will pick this up next week if you guys want to cut your recordings.